I just picture some kid like
there was just so many fights and stomp outs and like that kid got killed from special ed. It was so much shit that happened in that fucking school. But yeah. Emerson School for
lighter subject, lighter tone.
Emerson School for the Visual and Performing Arts. We all went to for a period of time, for at least 4 years. I went for 5 years. Everybody else went here for longer. That we all trained at. Aaron, Adam, and Marcus were all art majors. I was a dance major, obviously. And so the Emerson High School experience versus traditional schooling, because we were at a artistic conservatory that was still an open public school, but it wasn't treated like a public school because arts were the focus that helped to enhance our academics. And so academics weren't left out of the equation, but we were all clearly there for an artistic focus. So things you were able to do that you may not have been able to otherwise, places you were able to visit or experiences you were given that you may not have gotten otherwise. A lot of otherwises in here, Katie. For example, when we went to
teacher? No. Yeah, okay.
For example, when we went to New Orleans to dance, etc. Now, what's really funny, she made that example, and I have no idea what the fuck she's talking about. Because Katie is an old friend of ours, and me and Katie were both dance majors at the school, and so that's what she was making reference to. No idea what this New Orleans trip was, because I'm pretty sure I've never been to New Orleans, but that may have been like a separate trip, or my memory is horrible. Who knows? But so, grand scheme of it all, to make that more concise, what's your take on your experience as we came through Artistic Conservatory versus what you think the regular school system is? I teach in regular schools a lot, so I have a particular perspective. But do you think that there's more opportunities that were allotted to you? Do you think that there was a different kind of social conditioning that you went through, a different kind of maturation process that you went through in that environment? What's your compare and contrast towards what your experience was and what you know the public school system to be? If I'm elaborating on that correctly.
Yeah, I get it.
Socially, I think that it was like a friendlier family, a more family type environment. Mm-hmm. So I think that's one of the most beautiful things about going to a school like that. And as far as the schooling part, the specialized focused on our craft was amazing. When I talk to other people, because I never went to like a public high school or hardly middle school, so when I talk to other people, I do hear things that I kind of feel like I missed out on, but it's just a trade-off that we made. And for instance, like things like woodworking, which I don't know if if Gary schools even. I don't know if they had
like shop class, right?
Like shop class or
home ec or stuff like that.
And I hear even other people like from other school systems talk about like machine class, just stuff like that. I didn't even know, some of them I didn't even know existed. But like I said, that's the sacrifice we made to, focus in on our particular craft, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. So, I would recommend for anybody to go to that type of school that we benefited from.
Yeah.
If you can.
if it exists where you are and it's,
Right,
and it's
right.
run well,
If you have the particular
you-
set of skills.
If you up to par, if you up to par, we're not sure yet.
But besides that, like I said, the social aspect of it was one of the things that made it great. Because I think when you introduce arts to the fabric of education, especially for our age, it opens the door to a lot of different social and cultural understandings, which I believe we extremely benefited from.
Absolutely.
So that's my take on it.
I would echo what Marcus said and piggyback off of that as well. About in saying that, I think we really benefited from. Personally, but I think we. I think I might be able to speak for all of us in saying that we got closer to our teachers, particularly in the teachers in our major field, because one, they lived in our fucking neighborhood probably, or pretty close, and we got growing up there. We would switch back and forth from these same teachers, so I got more of like an intimate feel, and it felt a little bit more personal, which is what I really like. I think I benefited from that when I was not fucking around in class. And I also think that in regards to the arts, I think to piggyback off of the social aspect that Mark spoke about, I think that one thing that made it more of like a family feel is because we were all to some degree focused in the same way. We were like-minded in the same way. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but like we all knew
it gave you as a collective a common goal.
Yeah. And it's that, like you said, definitely opens the door for something deeper. I think what I think we missed out, I would speak to. I mean, even my brother and sister who lived in a different city, went to a different school, public school. Things like swimming or like bowling and different things that I would have loved to have been on a swim team or something. That they actually had that as a part of their gym class. I mean, it would have been great to take at least one of the 3,000 days that we played volleyball or basketball in gym class to swim. It'd be nice one day. You know what I'm saying? But mainly just we were all like-minded and focused in that same way in regards to the arts for sure, and just having a better connection with my teachers growing up for sure. Specifically,
Yeah, that's a good point.
Specifically our major teachers. I think it really helped me.
Yeah.
And I think to say one thing about the teacher part about it is that I feel like it helps them be more invested in us too, because they
build a relationship with you.
Right. Is more than you have us for a year or a few semesters, and you probably won't see us again. So that's a good point. I like what Aaron said there.
Yeah, they can kind of see us grow. Like they can actually see us progress. A year after year.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
really that's the obvious, but I mean, just seeing us grow literally as humans, like from age 12 to 18 is pretty significant.
Right. Yeah.
So that's
true. At least on my end anyway, I got a few perspectives on that, but just like I think we were always in general oddball kind of kids. Like we knew we could get along with your average Joe as far as the hood is concerned. But there was always these like underlying common minds of at least as far as we're concerned, none of us cared to be normal for whatever normal was in that environment. That, you know, some kids were still in very like challenging or in some cases dangerous environments outside of this space, but Emerson as itself was a safe space. And so we could always, you know, kind of clown people just being like, yo, you can't be hood and play violin. Like, I mean, you can't be gangster and play violin. Like killers ain't in the orchestra like that.
Yeah, man.
So you got to pick one. Now, here's the thing. Are there some people at this motherfucker that can? Sure. But I do remember that we had some licensed boxers that were also piano majors. And I would argue piano is malleable. So,
yeah.
I think there was things inside of that. But it gave space to kind of challenge all the tropes that came with it. You know, I've been dancing since I was 8 years old, and I'm in an environment that majority of, and it's no denial that a common trope around men dancing, and especially men dancing in the Black community, is people's hangups about homosexuality, right? And I'm not going to act like the majority of men inside the dance world aren't homosexual, because they are. But because people have their hangups and bigotries toward that, and we would catch a brunt to that. And the funny thing about it was the majority of the men in the dance department were straight.
That's
and
true.
It got all the way to the point of to tell a little story. I know y'all remember the major versus major basketball tournaments. And so we got to that point where, what was it? We got pitted against the vocal department, and vocal had a basketball star, if you will, in Gary Sanders. And he said, for lack of better terms, I'll be damned if I get beat by some niggas in tights. And so...
That's funny.
Who said that?
What?
Who said that?
Right?
Okay.
So he dishes that challenge out to us, and the thing about it was, it was purely the disrespect of that statement, and so we ended up playing them in tights, which we had no intention of doing, and we won. It was real. It was a real underdog type story, and especially because they say we won because he came late to the game or whatever, and when he got there, they tried to treat him like Jesus showing up. They still lost.
I actually remember that game.
But,
I was trying to I actually remember that.
Man, they shut us down when we was just getting hot.
Who did y'all play? You remember?
Was it orchestra?
Major. I can't even think of the.
I think orchestra won it all.
No, I wasn't orchestra.
Orchestra and piano played together, and they won the whole thing. We ended up losing to them in the finals.
I feel like we played them for some reason.
It was dang.
Was it Tech?
Yeah, it was Tech. It was Tech.
Okay.
I always forget they were amazing.
And so it was stuff like that where it was stuff like that where it gave us this kind of haven where we could study our craft and we can fight to kind of exist against what the typical environment would do. And I only say that in regards of, so now all Emerson's closed down and we're in Westside, and it's starting back at square one. We've been out of school for what, 13, 14 years? And those and those tropes that, we had to deal with back in high school still are there. And now it's not even just the students, it's a thing of now the teachers and other people, we gotta fight for our right to exist even with them. Because they feed into this system. And so Emerson really created a space, and I think most art schools are like this. When they're run well, they create a haven for people to be able to find modes of expression in order to focus and learn discipline.
And they might be, and they like looking from the outside, they might be perceived as like unique compared to, ones you might get elsewhere.
And that's what I'm saying.
I think so. Yeah.
And we all auditioned,
Right.
go there. So obviously it's something that we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, is that, but that creates an environment where, okay, we all, like we said earlier, like we here for a common thing, and it's to improve in this certain area.
Right.
And that's, people who go to school otherwise, if they don't have discipline, like you said, like they don't really have no thing to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they doing it because they got to do it.
I got a quick question for y'all in regards to this. It just popped up. I think it's a damn good one too. So,
now this question sucks.
No. You see that bead of sweat? What prompted you, each of you, to audition for Emerson, or who originally told you? And I'll say why I asked that, because my cousin was actually one of the my cousin also went to Emerson back when, like, the OG Emerson.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to him. He was an incredible violin pianist and trumpet player. He saw the Father's Day card that I made him. It was like, yo, you should, like, I think you actually got something. Like, I think you really should check out. I think you should audition for Emerson. So how did that happen for you guys? Where, was there a particular moment like mine, or had you always knew you wanted to end up in a school or some environment like that?
Well, for me, and I'll try to lump mine all together because I never actually answered the first question. But so for me, the first that I ever heard about Emerson was from my 5th grade teacher, Miss Blackman, and she was actually the one that recommended that I audition for it. But I didn't audition. I didn't after 5th grade, obviously, because I didn't go there to 7th. Yeah. But I was like, oh, okay, and then just forgot about it, like whatever. And then so when 6th grade rolls around, I realized that some of my friends went to Emerson. I'm like, oh, so people actually go there? I just didn't know anyone was actually going there. Which, I think Lamont had went there, and me and Lamont, obviously back in that time we're super close. And he went there, and I was like, okay, I didn't know he had a talent at that point. not as far as artistic talent, I should say. Like, I didn't know, what. But anyway,
remember, being grateful that Lamont was there. Like, I remember being grateful that I knew him and had like a friend in 6th grade, because I didn't know that many people.
Yeah. So he went there, and I was like, okay. And then at the time I was going to Tolleson, which was like in the middle of Gary, essentially. I'm like, I didn't fit in at Tolleson, I was in like the GT program, whatever. And then, so that was his own group, and I didn't even fit in that group. So
GT, for those of you, it means gifted and talented, which is a incredibly disrespectful thing to tell the regular kids.
Man. Yeah.
But
they could have just called it like AP or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they could have said AP or advanced, like AA, advanced academics or something. That's all it really was. It just is you were ahead of the curve as far as academics were supposed to be concerned. That's all. Yeah. That's all. Gifted and talented was. But yeah. So continue. Just wanted to get the context.
Yeah. Thanks. So there was that, and like I said, like I was at Tolleson, and I had these 2 people that I hung around primarily because we were in the same class together, so we hung out together. I mean, we were really like an oddball group of friends. I don't know if y'all remember these, but Floyd Springfield, and Terry and Dawson. I don't know if you
Dawson.
So he, rest in peace. He actually passed a few years ago. But he I'm trying to think. He was he gifted talented? Yeah, because we were in the same classes. So he was one of the people that was in GT, but he didn't go to Banneker. So he, whatever. So yeah, we was like this oddball like group of friends. Like, I mean, because Tarian was like hood, like from like hood Gary, and was hood, and there's me, the art dude from Miller, and then Floyd was Floyd. I don't even know how to describe it. was like silly, like really silly.
Yeah.
But we ended up being like a group of friends, whatever. And but even within that group, I still felt like this ain't for me. So I auditioned for Emerson, and I was nervous, like didn't think I was good enough, to make it, whatever.
Me either,
but got accepted, and it was the best thing I ever did, because I feel like if I would have stayed at Tolston and went to Westside, I don't even think I would be the same person, really.
Yo, I feel the same way if I would have stayed at Kennedy King and went to work.
Yeah.
Granted, I had some people that I was genuinely cool with at Kennedy King, but I hated it there.
Likewise.
But you left me.
But he really didn't like it, and that's why he left. He was like, "Yo."
It was like it wasn't even the thing of he was like, "Yo, man, I'm not gonna be here next year." He was like, "Yo, I'm not there."
I don't know. For some reason, I thought you was on the same thing.
Not at all. Not at all.
I know how
you got there before I did.
You talking about Emerson, right?
You got to Kennedy King. You got to Kennedy King.
Yeah, Tolston got me out of there, man.
And I was one marking period later. That like that first marking period, I had one C away from the honor roll. In the next marking period, they were like, "Do we need to give you therapy because you were dramatically failing?"
But they were changing teachers and stuff like that. Like,
I'm telling you. And I just didn't do any homework, so yeah. But I failed my test.
I was gonna say, fast forward to Citra. I still didn't do any homework.
But coming out of elementary school, for some reason, I didn't even really know about Emerson, or maybe I just wasn't told enough about it, because I had always been an artist, like kindergarten, like preschool, like always. And actually, somebody who really put me on was Ramon.
Shout out to Moni.
He used to always, whenever we would talk on the phone or whatever, he would always talk about it, and he would, he was a good salesman for it. He was like, everybody over here, is he was telling me like what it's about and all that. And I guess I wasn't completely sold until, I don't know why it took me to run out of other options. But when I auditioned, I actually thought that I belonged there, but my portfolio was, I procrastinated on it, and I didn't all the way take it serious for some reason, but it still got me in there. And I was kind of embarrassed of some of the stuff that I had in my thing. So I think, well, I mean, we say all of this stuff that's great, and in hindsight, but I probably didn't take it as, I don't want to say serious, but I didn't know what I was getting myself into when I was doing it. But now looking back and reminiscing about, all I learned and what I was exposed to, it was very beneficial. But I was just trying to give my origin story.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I think I took it seriously eventually, and even then, probably not. I took it seriously to a degree. There were people in the dance department who were way more serious than me, and at the time, I still thought I was going to like grow to be like a psychologist or an anthropologist or some shit. And then I was like,
dope. I never knew that. Wow.
It was because people used to bring their problems to me, and I thought that's all that psychology was, is like giving relatively well informed. And I say well informed like I wasn't a teenager, and all teenagers are dumbasses. Advice. And so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go study psychology. And they were like, that's a lot of reading, right? And I was like, oh yeah. Due to, my loving grandmother, anytime I couldn't go to sleep, she'd be like, yo, go read something. I can't read for longer than 6 seconds and not go to sleep. So that's going to be a no. And I had been, to tell a brief origin story with that, I had been dancing since 8 years old. Like I said, I joined the Banneker dance troupe in elementary school with infamous pieces like 16 tons. And
it just sounds funny, yo.
Where's Ramon?
This is such an inside joke at this point because, yeah. But 16 Tons was a piece that got made when I was in like 2nd, 3rd grade. And to this day, niggas have never let me live this shit down. And so, but I did my first musical, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, when I was 8. And so when I got on stage for the first time, I was really clear. I didn't go to Emerson because I didn't get it, just like y'all. I didn't really know what it was, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna stay in the Gifted and Talented program because everybody keeps telling me it's about these academics, not knowing that arts strengthen academics.
Yo, you said your first plays and your first concerts were they like the Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, was that also at Banneker or
no? So what it was this was like 95, 96, something like that. The West Side Theater Guild had just started.
Okay.
And so like it had just become a thing. Mark Spencer, who is also a graduate of Emerson, had just started this program. And so Tony Washington Simpson, my first dance teacher, had just gotten hired as the resident choreographer. And so she's like, hey, I got this group of little nigglets that I need to use. So And so she brought us on. And so if you've heard Joseph, because I grew up on the Donny Osmond version from Canada, you hear all the little children, la 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 the whole time. I was one of them la 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 kids. And so that's how I got started. And then I went to Tolleson like Adam. After a semester, they were like, yeah, you got to get the fuck out of here. And so they sent me to my home school, or my like resident school, in which I discovered that apparently Marcus had gotten kicked out a market period before me, because I remember seeing Marcus in the gym being like, Marcus, what you doing here?
What you in for, man?
What you in for?
Hey, that just made me think like it'd be cool if we did an episode or like part of an episode on like how we met and like went more in depth on that.
Oh, that's coming. That's what we were talking about earlier with like giving the backstory on us, because we've just been talking, and that has been a thing. Like audience people are going, hey, for those of us who don't fucking know you want to tell us who you are and like about your life story, because that would be probably interesting. So yeah, we got like a whole one.
I just want to make sure we add that in there.
Yeah, it's coming. Audience, it's
just always known each other, y'all.
Right.
Yeah. Since existence.
We're born with it.
And so,
Josh, you got a good story, man.
I'm telling you, to wrap it all up, after a year and a half of making it through that prison system of King to King Middle School, I went to audition, and funny enough, I really shouldn't have gotten in. I say this all the time that I botched my audition. In the middle of one, I barely could dance. I couldn't touch my toes. I didn't know nothing about staging or any of that shit. Only reason I got in is because I'm a guy. Male privilege kicked in like a motherfucker for that. Because,
oh, really? You think that? Really?
Oh, absolutely. Here's how I know. One, Larry Brewer, who was one of the main teachers of the department, he was the only person that said yes. both of the other teachers said no. Because in the middle of it, I barely knew the choreography and I busted my shit. Larry has a move that we've known for all this time where like you're on your feet and like you do like this pelvis push up to stand up. And this is before we got Marley on the dance floor. And so I was in like my very worn out jazz shoes. And so as I was pushing up, my feet said no. And the back of my head smacked off the ground. And then I ended up like jumping back up and like trying to jump back into the my head wasn't swelling in real time.
That's probably tired about you.
Yo.
Hey, this young man popped right back up.
Yeah.
Like, I showed energy and resilience.
Never gave up. Yeah, man.
I couldn't dance worth shit. And so they were like, you know, why would we take him in? And Larry was like, because we don't have men that want to do anything. There were men in the dance department, but they barely gave a fuck. And so that's how I got in, and here we are.
Hey, man. I remember being that's a really good story. Damn. I remember being so nervous on my audition. Like the dude was like walking around with a camera. And I'm like, and he's like, he damn near put it on my shoulder. I'm like, dog, this is fucking crazy, man. And we have to draw like I would imagine it was because I'm pretty sure they did the same type of audition for all three of us, right? Like you guys had to draw
like a still farmhouse or something.
Yeah, yeah, and then you have to draw like a live model standing up as like part of it.
I think for us, I think they did. Yeah, I think it was a still life for like 20 minutes, then a person for 20 minutes, and I forgot what the other part was.
And this dude was going around.
They had to bring in a portfolio too.
Yeah,
yeah, it was like a fruit bowl. I think it was like a farmhouse or something. Yeah, but then,
yeah.
No, I was just saying. Then we had to bring in our portfolio.
Yeah,
and show them that too.
That's where I think
live stuff too.
I think that's where I did like my best, just because I had
time.
Back then, I was drawing profusely, man. I was drawing a lot. Like I would lock myself in the room and just be drawing, man.
What's funny is my first day, they tried to put me in drama for some reason.
Yeah, they put me in exploratory art my first day. I was like, these the art majors? and then they're like, oh no, you're in the wrong class. I'm like, yeah, I assumed so. I remember sitting next to Brittany Lowe for some reason. Like she
Only exploratory I ever had was vocal. That was
that's funny.
Yeah, hey, that's interesting. Dance. Yeah, I did exploratory drama, and I remember what's her name? Damn it, Miss Booth was like, "Aaron, you really should be She was like, she was like really pushing me to be an actor, like a drama major.
I saw her. She came to my last show.
Oh, dope. Nice. Support, man. Nice.
Mm-hmm. It's funny how like other major teachers were trying to poach people. Because I might have told the story before. I tell it to Kirsten all the time though. But I took exploratory dance, whatever, in 7th grade.
You can't say it like that, son. You can't say it like that, son.
And this is a true story. Larry Brewer, he came to me one day. He's like, you should come back during lunchtime and work on some stuff with us. I was like, all right. And I never showed up. That's a true story.
Yo, Larry did poach a couple guys. He got between art and drama. I don't think because Greg was a vocal major and he ended up getting really invested, but he never stopped being a vocal major.
Yeah, I think was he like a double major, or did he just dance? Like
he would just do dance after school. He didn't take it with us during the day.
Gotcha.
And he wouldn't have never been in my class anyway because I was that much older than him.
Yeah,
but yeah. Yo, we want to thank Chris and Katie for sending in your questions. This was a fun talk, nice little walk down memory lane. And like I said, the our origin story podcast is going to come. We formatting it to make it like not documentary style, but documentary. What the fuck did I just say?
It's cool. I messed up masturbatory, so it's all good. We all get one. We all get one.
Yeah. Your part got cut though, so. But yeah, we're just trying to format it so that we can make it as engaging as possible. But we want to thank y'all for joining us for another episode of the Informally Honest podcast. Want to encourage you to, if you're listening, go watch it. If you're watching, go listen to it. If you want to just do that thing where people like put people's plays on repeat to get the listens up, do that shit too. I encourage all cheating in regards to helping us get our numbers up. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your kinfolk. You can follow us on Instagram at Informally Honest. You can follow us on Facebook at Informally Honest Podcast, and you can tune in to this YouTube page if you aren't tuning in already. All right, y'all got any last words?
Yes. So far, we've been getting nothing but good feedback. So I hope that encourages you guys to check it out even more.
I beg to differ, because if one more person goes, yo, you wild for that dick shit, then if y'all, and what's funny is I'm like, if y'all only knew all the jokes that I make that I do not say on this fucking podcast.
Actually, one of the first things that the guy that I talked to about this podcast at work said was something about your dick. So that's the first thing he said to me talking about it.
Apparently, this is gonna have to be a merch item.
Yeah, I got to get back to Adobe and get some more design and go. Shit. Yeah, it's about this. Yeah, right here, right like that.
Marco, Adam, y'all got anything y'all want to leave off?
Not really, man. Be blessed.
Word. We're four brothers who pride ourselves on having.
Oh shit!
You you're on the bottom of my screen. So that really works. You were waving no, so that's why I assumed.
No.
Like
Nah, I actually don't. I actually don't have anything. Just have a blessed day.
Have a blessed day. Yes, absolutely.
Miss Elmore. Did Miss Elmore used to say that?
Huh?
I think Miss Elmore used to say that, didn't she? Or was it be blessed?
Damn, I don't remember, man.
All I remember. Wait, no. What was her name? Our teacher that used to be like, "All right, class, take out your notebooks and data."
Not Miss Cerny.
Miss Stanley.
Miss Stanley.
Yep.
Miss Stanley. Shout out to Miss Stanley.
Yep. Best math teacher I ever had.
Yeah, man.
Easily.
Yeah, she was cool.
That's real. Marcus, do you remember our math teacher at KK? He was a white dude. Miss Stanley used to talk about him all the time. He was one of the basketball coaches. He kind of looked like Ron Swanson.
I don't remember. I think I tried to not remember.
That's real. You had a lot of trauma, and which we both did with that place. We are four brothers, different mothers and pappies, who pride ourselves on having candid conversation rooted in being forthright, vulnerable, and most of all, honest. Peace.
Peace, y'all.
Keep the youth alive. Cops shoot shots, but they don't do the time. So you decide. You can choose a side. Either you can die or you can fly. See, we all from the motherland. Only right that I see you as my brother, man. You understand?
Welcome to the Book Report. I'm Kenny of Perfect Strangers and Blur Dot Radio, and today I'm talking about Daredevil issue 20. Before we get into that, let's just talk a little bit about Daredevil. A Marvel mainstay at the forefront of comics in terms of superheroes who are street level. He's second only to Spider-Man. And to be honest, I'm still not over the fact that we aren't getting another season of Daredevil on Netflix, because it's still the best Marvel show Netflix has ever done, and probably the best Marvel show, period, that really just has to really hone in on that Marvel Knights type of feel that's like dark and gritty, but also really fun and full of action. So hey, Marvel, bring back Daredevil to television? On to the report. Daredevil 20 basically brings us to the finale of a 20-issue run that has seen Matt Murdock crippled, lost, a murderer. Yeah, Daredevil killed a guy in the first issue. And that's not even a spoiler. That's basically what was solicited to every comic book store to tell customers that, by the way, Daredevil killed a guy. That was what they wanted people to know that Matt Murdock did. And you learn that, that happened, and he's going through denial about it. He thinks he's being played. He's looking for any setup. We get some guest appearances from a couple of heroes you would obviously expect from a Daredevil story in terms of your Punishers and Electras, but also you get some classic characters that make some mysterious. Honestly, there are a couple of returns between issue 19 and 20 that I didn't see coming so soon in this run that I'm really excited for, and I'm hoping that basically by the end of issue 20, there are a lot more questions than answers. We see Mayor Wilson Fisk, no longer the Kingpin. The Kingpin has gone straight, everybody. He's trying to get into that legal weed selling. He's standing up for his citizens as a politician. He literally goes out into the streets and helps a masked Matt Murdock, still not Daredevil, by the way, that's still not a thing, take down a villainous team of the Rhino, Crossbones, spoiler alert, so I won't mention who one of the characters is because it's kind of a big deal, and then Stiltman, who's absolutely not a big deal, but for some odd reason, he's here in this big battle in the middle of Hell's Kitchen that basically sees this elite group of twins who basically they're basically the Kingpin times two. They own television stations, they're basically just capitalism personified in terms of greed and corporate just bad, and we're still not sure as to why they want to take full control of Hell's Kitchen from the mob, Owlsley, and there's one more group looking to take power in Hell's Kitchen because of the fact that Fisk is no longer, Kingpin, that all of a sudden Hell's Kitchen has become ground zero for this big war here at issue 20. So by the end of the issue, the dust settles, nobody's dead, but by the end of it all, there's a reckoning coming for the Mayor, Matt Murdock, and our newest character. He's Detective Cole North, and he's basically put in charge of this superhero task force that's actually out not to help superheroes, but to capture them, because, of course, Mayor Fisk, in his infinite wisdom, finds the best way to capture mass vigilantes is by creating a task force within the New York Police Department that's pretty corrupt. And so we really see Chip Zdarsky really kind of get into the weeds in terms of police brutality, what it means to be a good cop, what it looks like to be a bad cop. The fact that marijuana legalization ends up in this comic book is still pretty surprising, and I'm glad that Marvel is allowing Marvel editors that are allowing their writers to kind of continue with what Stan Lee kind of talked about, was Marvel kind of being part of reality and seeing the world kind of mirroring itself with that mirror aspect. So it's interesting to see how the heroes and the villains are basically having to deal with drug legalization and the fact that, cops and heroes maybe aren't the best thing for a world that's constantly changing. So, once again, my book of the week, Daredevil, give it a look. We have the first couple of trades at First Day Comics. And once again, I'm Kenny of Blur Radio and Nerd for Strangers. And thanks. Have a good one.
Can't look in the eyes of my brother without shedding a tear for my brother. I really want to try for my brother.
Yo!
Truly do feel for my brother.
I love it every time.
What it is? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Informally Honest Podcast. It's your one of your co-hosts right here, Josh. We got Aaron.
You.
We got Marcus.
What's up? One of the quadrants.
and we got the Adobe Master, Adam.
So
the editor.
So just so you know, I have to big up you like every episode because you do so much, and if for no other thing, I'm gonna make sure you get all the praise and credit that you deserve and all the work that you do on this podcast, man. So I want to make sure that gets acknowledged.
Thanks.
Yo,
man.
that's very, very true. I'm glad you took some time out to acknowledge that for real. Props to the homie.
Because
slow clap.
Because it is really that thing where I'm like, the outside world gets to appreciate all of this stuff and they get to move on and all that kind of stuff. But over here, we don't have them snippets without Adam. We don't have them beautiful graphics on the audio files without Adam. We don't have any of that. And so Adam, by all means, you get all of this metaphorical loving. And so yeah. It took everything in me not to make a dick joke right there.
I was about to say, don't kill us in the comments. Don't kill us in the comments.
So I go, get off his
Yeah, man, it's fun.
Oh, man.
So it's no hassle.
Oh man, appreciate it. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. It's a love fest around here always. If you are joining us for the first time, we are four brothers from Gary, Indiana, who have had a friendship since the early 90s, late 90s, mid 90s, one of them, somewhere in the 90s. And we pride ourselves on keeping this connection alive through having really candid conversation, being forthright, vulnerable, and most of all, honest.
Right.
And so before we get anything kicked off, fellas, it's another week. The sun is shining. Masks should still be on. Probably aren't because people are mad fucking irresponsible. Spikes in coronavirus are happening and people acting like it's not. But otherwise, how are you?
Man, I'm keeping it cool. I've been well, bro.
How long that pause was.
There's always a pause for that.
I've been well, man. Currently spending way too long working on this new little art piece that I got. I am designing a sketch of my girlfriend, something very simple, almost like Matisse sketches, kind of in that idea. And then
I'm gonna nod my head like I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So Henri Matisse, the artist, the painter, he did a lot of sketches of like women, and it focused a lot on it was just very simple contour sketches, which I really admire. And I'm kind of doing a little something like that of my own, of my girl, and then she's gonna embroider it. So we are trying to get a collaboration, one of our first collaborative efforts. On a one piece, yes. I'm spending way too long on that as usual. It's a simple fucking. I'm actually using Adobe. I'm like doing it on Adobe.
Okay.
Yeah, which is like, okay, this new. All right, bro. So remember when we were doing all our shit back in the day, and like paint was the shit. I thought paint was, bro. Fucking with this new Adobe Illustrator is way too complicated. I can't even erase. You have to specifically pinpoint the particular part of the line. You have to like click on the particular line segment that you need before you can erase. You can't just go in and erase like you should normally be able to do.
Yeah.
Every other moment of the day.
Yes.
When you're on Adobe, it's way too complicated, man. Like, anywho, your boy is doing good, man. And Atlanta has officially put into effect a mask mandate, like a mask wearing mandate. So we are wearing masks over here.
Ain't the mayor? Did she test positive like recently?
Yeah, she came out about it. Yeah, she's been cool about that, man. She's actually, I think, part of how she's handled the virus thus far has put her as a running mate for vice president if Joe Biden becomes president.
What's her name again?
Keisha Lance Bottoms.
I just know last name.
Oh, that's Keisha.
Yeah, because that's the important part. That's
I've heard of Keisha Lance Bottoms, but I couldn't remember who she was, what have you. And I knew that she was a potential candidate because Charlamagne would talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
I think
so she went against she went against the governor. Actually, several mayors have gone against the governor's requests on like and creating the actual mask requirement as a mandate as opposed to just encouraging people. He thinks encouraging has not worked. It's no more encouraging. Let's be a leader and require that shit,
Yeah.
So they're doing it.
Americans are arrogant. They, what was it? Somebody had a comedian back in the day. I can't remember who had a bit about like if you really wanted somebody to help like starving African children, you'd stop getting little white women to go, hey guys, for 11 cents, you get like some dude in a leather jacket going like, hey, you fuck face. Hey, see how fucking hungry these kids are? Yo, feed these fucking kids.
I heard that before. I can't think of who said it though. That's gonna kill me.
It might have been Louis.
I do.
Maybe
like,
it was.
Yeah, probably.
It might have been Louis. I can't remember.
Anywho, you get it's a possible fine of $75 at least the first time if you get caught. Now, and I think restaurants, I think they sent out all the necessary information to like restaurants and public place, like buildings and whatnot, offices and whatnot, to give them the option to refuse service if somebody walks in and wants to, be on that foo-foo. So I think
Marco,
that's where we're at right now.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Marco, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing all right. I got all that news about the coronavirus, man. It's putting a damper on my vacation plans. I'm supposed to go to New Orleans, but it's not looking too good down there right about now.
Yeah, dog.
Nah.
So I'm just trying to stay informed on that situation.
Right.
I sound like a news reporter.
Yeah. Yo, the winds are coming in from the southeast. If you do, man, if you get like a layover or whatever sometime in Atlanta, holla at me.
Just be careful with traveling anyway, man.
Yeah.
Airport's got a whole lot of shit going on, and if you go anywhere, you got to be quarantined for 2 weeks.
True. Yeah,
I heard about
that's
that.
That's what my girl are doing before we come up in August. Back to the IND. Y'all know it. I was just inspired, man. It came from the top. This is present moment. This is stand up comedy, man.
It's not a complete contradiction to your earlier statement, but it's a hell of a callback. If you don't know what he's talking about, then you should go listen to the older episode.
Y'all haven't heard the Indianimal song?
No, I haven't.
Check that out, man. I can't even describe it. It's just it's another Indiana song. It's an Indiana movement.
It's to be experienced. That's it.
Adam, what's going on in your world?
Not much. Let's see. Got a anniversary coming up in a couple weeks.
Oh, Tony, come on.
But, yeah, we don't really have much planned. Just like kind of what Marcus was saying. just things are just weird. So I think we're gonna just do something super just chill, like just and then next year, hopefully, when like things are better, then we'll try to like do something big because this year is actually our 10th year.
I was going to ask, man. That's a big deal. Got that Takada under your belt. Woo! That's strong, man.
Yo, time really does fly. I know people say that shit all the time, like a cliche, but damn.
Yeah, it does.
Already been 10 years. That is, I can still see us looking all spiffy at the ceremony at where I said at least 27 words with 7 syllables in my best man speech. And then there was performances and everything. It looked like Zamunda, and so
that's funny.
Yeah, that was a cool day, man.
Congratulations to you and Kirsten on y'all 10-year anniversary, man. That's a big milestone.
Yes, sir.
And also, I don't know if I should bring this up.
You cut it out.
Yeah, we'll see if it fits. So
that is what she said. Y'all know it. I'm done.
That's pretty.
He's heating up.
But no, like so. Last episode, I said that Amy Winehouse passed away on our anniversary. But it was actually, she passed away on Kirsten's birthday, which happens to be the day before our anniversary, which is the 23rd. So just a little mix up there. But I mean, one day off isn't.
Yeah, that's pretty.
And that's actually
a lot of stuff happening.
And it's actually also my sister's birthday as well. My oldest sister, April. Her and Kirsten have the same birthday. So, which is very interesting because do
they have like character traits that are similar?
Yeah, they do. That's actually what I was about to say, which is interesting because they actually. I mean, a few traits, but they definitely are like both very, I guess you could say, adventurous in books and stuff like that. That world is like definitely both of them. So yeah. So I guess
I love when you can say books as a descriptor.
Yeah. It's like, certain people just read, It's just like
oh, I get it because I'm not one of them.
Because for me, I read in spurts. Like definitely like back when I was in the old military, like when I was deployed somewhere, I read a lot. Like I remember I read the Hunger Games series. I read the whole series in a week because I was like, it literally was nothing else to do. And they were pretty good. So
okay. I was about to ask you that because like I've read entire books in one night before, but just I had to be really gripped.
Yeah.
In it,
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's got to be the right book, and that's probably everybody would say it's got to be the right book. But for me, it's got to be just really like, because I can't read okay books, I'm gonna just get bored of it and not finish it. So it's got to be like Fight Club, like the movie, whatever. Like I read that book, and actually I read that in one shift at work because it's actually a short. It's actually a short story, so it's not like 400 pages and thing. It's like one something, but that day at work it was like actually an exercise. We weren't doing anything because it was snowing, so we couldn't fly any jets or anything. So we were just sitting around. So I just read a book. So, but that's enough. I'm doing good. So.
No, you good because you brought up a couple things that's interesting. Is one factoid that I'm going to say allegedly ahead of time because I don't know that it's completely true, but based on like context clues, it seems very true. One, because the stories are so similar, and two, white folks be stealing shit. And so have y'all heard of the film series Battle Royale?
Yeah.
I've
heard stole from like a Japanese
yeah, so the whole thing is Battle Royale literally is the Hunger Games with slightly more dire circumstances, kind of like more realistically dire circumstances.
Okay.
Where instead of it being like a post-apocalyptic situation, what it is the adults,
kids, right?
Yeah, the adults of Japan have feel that the teenage population has gotten too bad. They've become too problematic, for lack of better terms, unruly, and And so what they did is they passed a law called the Battle Royale Act, where they'll pick a random class from the worst school in the country, and they'll take them off to a mountain and then make them all kill each other in the process of 3 days until one of them is left.
It's brutal too, man.
It's real brutal. The movie is amazing. And so what the conspiracy is a homegirl saw that story and then just adapted it for an American audience by making it post-apocalyptic, making, white heroes, all of that kind of stuff. But literally the base of Hunger Games is stolen from a Japanese film.
Oh, I completely.
Were they able legally, how were they able to do that? Like, did they change enough things around without getting like sued or anything?
Well, if it's Japanese, they don't have our copyright law. So, I mean,
right.
I thought that was just like a universal thing whenever you're making films or music or whatever, because it's all under one big.
As soon as it's under as soon as it's in a different country, you got different international laws to abide by.
True. Damn.
There are aspects of it that are different, but they're virtually the same story. So it's not like the situation where like someone, the person who wrote The Matrix did not get the money for the make of The Matrix.
I was just about to say like that the person who made The Matrix was a black lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she claimed that she made the Terminator series also, like the first 2 or whatever. 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
So all of those stories got stolen, and those have been in though I'm pretty sure she won
Conspiracy
the suit.
Corner.
Yeah, I'm sorry, take it. I'm pretty sure she won the suit for Matrix. I don't know if she did for Terminator. But and so that was just a random thought I had when you brought up reading The Hunger Games.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
No, I believe it.
But
I totally believe it.
Yeah. So by all means, go ahead. Folks out there, go watch Battle Royale. It's on Netflix. There's 1 and 2, and 1 especially. Go watch Battle Royale. It's a really, really good film, actually.
I will definitely do so, man.
Are they older? Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming they're older. I mean, like what year time frame?
Give me a second.
Like it was maybe like 5 years ago, 4.
I feel like it's way.
I don't know the series.
Well, it had to be before because Hunger Games are about 5 years.
Series.
Well, Hunger Games was like 2013, 14.
Yeah,
2000 was when it came out.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense then. Yeah,
dang,
that makes sense.
It didn't seem that old, really.
Yeah, because I think I watched it in like 2009, 2010, something like that. I'm pretty sure Netflix had just become a streaming service when I watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, Netflix has been around for a while, man.
Yeah, my parents were getting like the disc from them, like when we were in high school.
DVDs, yeah.
And then when they started the streaming service, we were still in high school when they actually started, but there was absolutely nothing on it worth watching. Like it was just a bunch of stuff you never heard of. And then I was like, whatever.
Yeah, they started getting better.
And then fast forward to today, it's like they're competing with HBO as far as being the most Emmy nominated network. And so it's like they grew tremendously.
HBO Max though is pretty solid.
Yeah.
HBO Max. Now, can someone tell me the difference between HBO Max and HBO Go?
I don't know.
I don't know
what is the difference. I don't get why they have 2 different services.
Maybe it's for the phone or whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Go's like it's like a mobile app. I'm not sure, but
that's stupid.
Yeah,
just make Max the mobile.
I never heard of the Go.
Yeah,
I never heard of it.
Yeah. Okay, well.
They're pretty good, but their interface kind of sucks though. But we can move on. We can try to move on.
You're right. We should move on. I was about to go into the whole Ozark show that we just finished and how incredible it is, man.
Oh yeah,
I haven't even gotten in Ozark.
I love it.
Yeah, we should go on. My
Ruth Langmore.
Okay.
She's one of my favorite characters on TV.
We can hash that out. That sounds like a good segment idea for another day is like, what are you tuned into? What do you ride real strong for as far as Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, Disney Plus? Speaking of Disney Plus, my dad watched Hamilton and he can't stop talking about it as if it didn't exist for like 3 years. Which I get it. Like a lot of people are just seeing it. I watched it on bootleg like a year or two ago, and so like I've seen it.
Yeah, me either.
It's an amazing show. Yeah. It is incredible propaganda, but it is an amazing show.
I like the Mandalorian.
Mandalorian is also great.
Great, man.
But let's get into what we actually came to talk about today.
Keep bringing that shit.
but yeah.
So today's subject is we're going we should throw in the cut for what we'll call it. We really got to make a soundboard that at the top of "Don't Leave Me, Girl" by Blackstreet. He's like, we're gonna go back, way back, back in time, way back. Today is a recollection episode, if you will. What's some of the stupid, ignorant ass thoughts, actions, and beliefs, etc., like experiences you had in your childhood that you like can still remember in excruciating detail? Not that you got to go into excruciating detail, but like paint the picture, explain why you held on to this. Okay, as long as it's entertaining. As Chappelle said, as long as it's interesting, doesn't matter how long it is, right? And so, like what? Tell me something you really recall.
All right, shit, I'm about to sweat. Look, check it out. Yo, somebody throwing a beat. All right.
No. I don't know why that came to mind.
Yo, I stick my teeth in the bite. All right. This is a super embarrassing moment of mine, man, with Miss Stanley, the lovely math teacher.
Come on.
At our
Take
high
out
school.
your notebooks and date them.
Yes. Josh, I actually wonder if you remember this because you were the one of us actually in the class with me. That was the infamous day that my aunt showed up, and at that moment I couldn't answer anything. And she would call up. Do you remember that?
I don't at all.
So apparently, per usual, I was just running my mouth for talking shit or something. So my aunt felt the need to make a surprise visit, and I was terrified. And now I guess this is a shorter story, but it was very, very embarrassing for me because I was so embarrassed that like the answer I couldn't get was the world's easiest fucking answer, the easiest thing to answer. Miss Stanley looked at me. Now my aunt's sitting behind me, and I'm quiet as fuck. I'm quiet as a church mouse at the time. Like I felt so threatened. But I'm getting everything, and she says, "Aaron, what is 100% or 400?" Look, I know. I couldn't come up with the answer. I couldn't find the answer, bro. Josh, I was sitting right behind you. Yo, oh no! I think you were sitting I was sitting behind David.
I know. I always sat to the side of you.
Yeah, you're right.
But
that's what I could. I mean, it's a short story, but
that don't even sound like a real question.
I can't believe I don't remember that. First of all, and secondly, there's no way that question happened, and I didn't immediately bust into laughter. And you not being able to.
Bro, everybody it was a fucking uproar. Everyone was laughing. And my stomach was just sinking lower and
Everyone
lower
was unsettled.
and lower. Bro, I sweat. It's safe to say I threw that fucking shirt away when I got home. I sweat that motherfucker out. And my aunt just tapped me on my shoulder like, you know the answer, dog. I raised you better than this. You know the fucking answer. I couldn't come up with whatever 100% or 400. I couldn't come up with it, dog.
I really want to hear your aunt say, "You know the answer, dog."
It was like, Aaron. And I'm like, yo, it's your fucking fault. Leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? So then she finally just like, she gave me like a long sigh. Okay, we'll call on somebody else. I was like, I don't know it. It's obvious and I don't know it. Leave me the fuck alone. So I'll start it off with that excruciatingly embarrassing moment. And then obviously, I think the next day, she asked me that shit in the middle of class when my aunt wasn't there. It was like, so today, do you know what 100% of 400 is? And I was like, I do. I definitely do. So I didn't live that one down for a while, as you can imagine, bro.
Mm.
So I'll go ahead and kick it off with that and let y'all come up with something.
I think I definitely got a lot of those type of moments, but minus my parents being there. I'm sure that was very intense.
Woo! I was like, yo, if she pulled that belt out of her purse, I'm fucked.
Yeah,
I don't know. Go ahead.
Now, I wasn't gonna say the story or anything, but I was gonna say it. I don't know if there's a worse feeling than your parents coming up to the school. Like it's just,
especially if you did something stupid, or doing something at the time.
What's fun? Why do you feel like implicit guilt when your parent is there? Like you ain't even done shit.
No,
and then
you start thinking it's like the cop. You start thinking like, dang, what did I do?
Yeah, I swear, bro. I swear.
Well, that
you
too.
put your fucking hands at 10 and 2. You put your hands at 10 and 2. I will not fuck up.
I'm saying like when you actually did something and they had to come up there. That's what I mean. Because for me, like for whatever reason, like although I was quiet, I got in trouble more than the quiet kid should have got in trouble. Which is I was
about to say they were kind of petty, like at school for certain things. It's like other schools, they probably would have just been like, get out of here or something.
Yeah.
They were like kind of sensitive.
Bro, getting suspended for like walking down the hall with holding your significant other's hand or something was ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
See,
that's petty,
my lonely ass high school experience didn't involve that, and so that wasn't a life I lived.
But you know, some of us been groomed that way since Banneker, like having them strict. You know, our principal and our main teachers were very strict. Man.
She was crazy.
Plus, we come from an era where we could get paddled, so. I don't think these youngers really know what that's like.
Man.
Yo, seeing paddles like the weapon choices on a video game. See her just scrolling past.
Yeah, that's half inch.
You got tassels, you got wrapped in duct tape, you got the 6 holes for aerodynamics.
Right.
You catch Mr. Miller like dual wielding and shit.
Lightweight woods.
I'm just trying to figure out like how
tape and shit.
I'm trying to figure out how that was ever legal. Because when you think about it, like we're grown now. So I'm like, if I hit a kid with a paddle as hard as I could, like it shouldn't even be right. Because I would hurt somebody if I had a plank of wood that I was swing as hard as I could after I just ate lunch. So I'm fully energized. And like
at the backside. And the thing is, especially
that should be illegal.
It's one thing if it's little kids. They were still paddling when me and Marcus were at Candy King.
Yeah.
These are teenagers.
Yeah.
And teenagers are assholes more than kids are. They'll look at you like they don't even
paddled in 9th grade.
No,
I mean, not me, but I'm saying like they were paddling in 9th grade.
People getting, and that's what I'm saying. Like
I would have been like, nah,
because I'm like at that age, you can just be like, no, like, tell my mom. Like I don't really get that the acceptance of that kind of punishment, or just a thing of like the challenge an adult has to feel at that point. Where you're like, if you paddle a kid like that, oh yeah, they're supposed to get 3 strikes or whatever. And after that first one, they look back at you like, was that it? Now you're like, oh, now I gotta put some elbow grease into this bitch because you want to be all big and bad.
Yeah. Yo, that was me and my aunt. She said, "Oh, it's funny." Okay. Yo, like 3 turned into 27 SWAT. I was like, "All right, you got me. You won."
That
I'm on my
is the word I was
knees.
looking for. SWAT.
I'm like,
Lashing.
I'm crawling towards the door. Like, just get me out of here, son. You won. The war is over officially. D-Day is done.
Yo, man.
Yo, speaking of all this, shit, like,
Go
speaking
ahead.
of just getting in trouble and shit, like, I'm thinking about how much of a crazy ass or a wild ass I was, man. From like,
I was about to say,
from like elementary to junior, senior year.
them paddles really sucked, but I got a July 4th edition answer for
Go for it.
Yeah.
First of all, we did not follow any safety rules in the past when it comes to fireworks and gunpowder related things.
Right, the guns. Gunpowder.
Gunpowder and cardboard related stuff.
Like, yo,
Roman
what's he about to
candles.
admit? What's he about to
Shooting
admit?
Roman
Hold up.
candles at each other.
Yeah.
Bro,
Definitely.
on a skateboard.
Oh yeah, taping fireworks to skate. Roman candle team deathmatch,
You going faster.
and throwing firecrackers at each other. Trying to hold firecrackers as long as you can until
So it pops in the air.
Yeah,
It pops in midair.
just all the
Oh man.
super dangerous. Like I've had fireworks like burst in my hand. Like it felt like my finger could have came off, but it really didn't. But I could kind of imagine how it feels.
Yeah, man.
Due to all my pyro experience, training or
Yeah.
experimentation.
I'm the same, man.
Now,
I
Mark-
love me some fire.
Yeah, Marco, I gotta say, I think you got the most like vulnerable but indestructive hands I've ever seen in my life.
Oh man.
Because I don't know if you care about me telling the sled story.
Oh no, man.
We used to sled a lot and all that kind of stuff because we lived in the hills, and so we would find these damn near mountainous hills to
Yeah, I love those hills.
Extreme sledding.
to sled down. And so I remember this particular day. We were on that one behind, not behind Aaron's house, but like behind
Neighbor's house.
a neighbor's house. Yeah, thank you. And what was it? We got into the. I remember Marcus being like, "My hand kind of hurt." It was, like, did you even fall down the hill? Like, I think
it was a freak accident. Well, it wasn't even it was just a realization. Like,
yeah, like we didn't even see anything go wrong.
But no, I was carrying a sled, and this particular sled, it was like a hard handle or whatever, and I was using it to like climb up the mountainous hill. It was like all kind of trees and stuff, shrubs or whatever. But I was using the handle to climb up, and somehow the whole sled bent back like this. So it like put pressure on my hand, but it fractured the middle finger metacarpal, like a spiral fracture or whatever. But I didn't know at the time, and
yeah, we were all like freezing fucking cold. So who knows how like actually numb it was? Because I remember you didn't even have. If memory serves me correct, I think you had on like maybe one of them like those gloves made out of like childhood dreams and. Like just the thinnest fucking cotton material.
Yeah, with like Charlie Brown or something on it.
That knitted glove that ain't holding any kind of heat in. And I just remember you being like, "Yeah, man, my hand kind of hurts." And we finished, we wrapped up, we went back to Aaron's house, and he took his glove off, and it literally looked like he had a softball in the middle of his hand. And he was looking at it like, "Man, I don't think this is okay." Like, there was no kind of reaction, like, like
it was like a numb type of pain. Like it wasn't like it was a spiral fracture. It wasn't like
Broken, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I don't know why that made me just think of that when you with what you brought up.
But I remember like asking Ken,
Yeah.
like I guess he gave me like a professional type of review or whatever. He was like, "Oh, I don't think it's broken really," and I took his opinion very seriously, just because of his expertise.
Yeah, man.
In real life,
in life,
we treated Ken like he just knew it, like he was a sage, like he just knew everything.
Yeah, man.
Well, I'm not saying it's it's his fault, but I just
no.
I didn't go to the doctor for literally 2 weeks.
Oh wow.
2 weeks after that happened.
Yeah, I'm a smack king when I go back up to the crib in about a month or so. I'm smacking.
I just thought it would heal, like, I thought it was like bruised or whatever.
Yeah.
But after like 2 weeks, I will do certain movements and it'll have like this pain that I really never felt before. So I'm like, I think something is actually wrong.
Yeah.
See, dog, I think I used to do that shit too. And like, it's because Ken will break his leg completely in half and then just continue running or like keep working. That's why I just be like, anywho, I was about to like bring up the whole, like the time he was, I hope you finished your thought, by the way. I wasn't trying to cut you off.
I got one more point to make that.
Yeah, go ahead.
The after surgery part was the worst pain. Like the surgery, like
the recovery
of the surgery. Yeah, like that was worse than anything.
Like while the stitches was in or the staplers you had, like you said that was.
Well, I actually I had I still have like a plate over this bone and screws. Like I believe it's like 2 or 3 screws. It doesn't hurt anymore, but when I took the cast off or whatever, like he forced me immediately to bend my fingers, and that hurt so bad. Like after not using, because I had a cast up to here, so I could do like this. But as far as this was the most painful thing besides being food poisoning.
Damn.
From the school hamburgers. But
mystery meat.
That was like the worst pain ever, man.
That's why I only
and
showed
the root
up to
canal.
that
Too. But
I only showed up to that lunch line on Nacho Day, so that's why
I couldn't go to sleep off of that, man. Like I was in the bed, like please, like, why did you do it?
Admittedly, with as horrible as our school lunches used to consistently be, I never had that experience.
Yeah.
Why when you feel in pain, like you hate that other people are lounging and just watching TV?
Because you're like, yo, your life
like,
should
do something.
Your life should be okay with me being in this much pain.
You just gonna watch TV?
Cry for me, can't you see it?
Yo, the first time I got real food poisoning, it was like I think I accidentally had like some red chicken or something like that from the water tower in Chicago. And I remember being at home, it was like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. And I was literally in my bathroom at my dad's house, like face on the cold floor, because that's the only thing that felt good. Ass up in the air, screaming, "Daddy! Daddy!" Like, because I didn't get what the fuck was happening to me. And I was just like, yo, I'm in so much pain. And he was, and then he finally gets up like a half hour later of me screaming and just crying into the tile. And he's like, are you okay? And I was like, obviously, no. Why would you ask me that stupid ass question? And he was like, have you thrown up yet? And I was like, thrown up? Like, as soon as the idea came up, like, all of it immediately projectile. That's the first time I recognized projectile vomit as a real thing. And it was just a horrible experience.
Done that
so yeah,
bro,
like you could see the vein popping out your head as you.
Yo, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
Bro, why was the bathroom floor the most pleasant place to be when you're sick like that, man?
Yo, drunk, food poisoning, that cold floor.
I would just get naked, son, and lay on. I would just get naked and lay on the floor, man. It was so comforting.
I ain't gonna lie, I had it coming out both ends when I had
be
food
like
poisoning,
that.
man. It was tragic.
Yo.
But I think Aaron was
yeah, Aaron, you had a thought. My bad.
Oh no, it's cool. I think I cut Marcus off, so I apologize for that. I'm sure it'll happen another 60 times in this episode, but I apologize. Bringing up Ken just made me think of when he built that skate ramp for us.
Oh yeah, he did that shit in 2 days, and that was when we all went. Oh, Ken could do anything.
Now the reason, I think that's why we just assumed that, we just take this motherfucker's advice.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, he a doctor.
Yeah,
he definitely is a doctor.
But then it brings me to something else that involves another castmate, another homie on this podcast, Mr. AJ. I think it was just like a week or so maybe after he built it, I got my board taken. In school.
Yeah.
And then I needed an accomplice to assist. Yo, who else could say they fucking snuck into principal's office and took a gang of shit? I'm talking about a skateboard, a duffel bag, two Colts, a Snicker bar, a mousetrap, some sheet metal and a fucking stapler just because.
And that wasn't even just one time, because I remember going in there too before.
Yeah, man.
Getting stuff back. Like
I remember Russell was like, yo, can you get my shit too? I got all my juices and brownies. I got to make this money.
Let's make sure we bleep some name.
Yeah. I figured
he had a whole duffel bag.
He had a whole duffel bag of little Debbie's and Capri Suns.
But like, how do you? He got in trouble. I felt so bad, bro. He's the one who actually got in trouble at that shit. After he actually got in trouble.
Hey,
like,
shout out to everybody.
How often do you see a skateboard in the fucking office to not miss that, but you miss a big ass duffel bag?
She was probably eating the snacks. And then when she realized, she was like, man, what happened to my treats?
And my oatmeal pies.
Stuff was missing.
Everybody who had the hustle game
shout out to them.
I was a part of one of the stores before.
Yeah. I did it for like a week or two, and I was like, this is too much work.
Yeah, we had a little.
I get that.
Who was that? Who used
Russell
to sell?
And Benjamin.
Yeah, the big timers was Ben and Neil. Like they were like top. They were like the Amazon.
Top tier.
That's how you really fucking knew we were at art school. But nobody pushed in drugs like that.
Yeah, it was
Everybody was pushing. Well, nobody like, yo, I got the heroin, I got some herb. No, they were like, yo, I got fudge rounds, I got oatmeal pies, I got Capri Suns, I got the Kool-Aid jammers, them strawberry shortcakes. What you need, man? I got what you need.
Yo,
Star Crunch.
Were y'all?
Star Crunch.
Cheese.
Oh man, damn, Star Crunch. Shit. Yo, were y'all there when Homegirl was selling the crunch bars, like the vanilla crunch bars and shit, the white chocolate ones? Was that before y'all got there, I think?
That sounds familiar. Who was
she? Made a gang of money. Bianca?
Oh yeah, she used to sell stuff too. Yeah.
She used to sell those, bruh.
Yeah, I used to get was it Snickers? I used to she used to sell all types of candy bars.
Yeah.
I think I used to get Snickers from her all the time.
Oh yeah, she was one of the stores.
Commerce.
If they had the
e-commerce, Emerson Commerce.
Emerson Commerce.
Marketplace.
They had to close that creepy. Here's the funny statement about all this: if they hadn't closed that creepy lady's basement across the street, then they wouldn't have caused all of these internal businesses.
Yeah,
true. I loved that.
Yeah,
place.
I used to go there after school.
Yep. Motherfuckers was stealing and had to fuck it up for us, man. People would go in there and steal. I'd be like, come on, dog. It's
cheap.
50 cents. You don't have 50 cents? Damn. Put that lollipop down, you motherfucker.
It was that, and they started like crack down on anything that we all started to do like with frequency. They started to crack down on. Remember when we were the ones that found out that it was not, they weren't going to stop us from ordering food.
Oh yeah.
And so once we started ordering Pizza Hut and all of that, shout out to the Pizzone. Then everybody starts ordering Chinese food and Pizza Hut and all this kind of stuff. And then eventually they started cracking down on that because it used to be so folks' orders would come late, and so they be getting like the Chinese delivery dude walking into your math class trying to hand you your
Hey man, I know I'm interrupting some of this shit, but whose is this, y'all?
He's like, yo,
am I getting a tip? Come on.
Hey, multiply this tip up real quick.
Yeah.
Like kids can't even pass their geometry test. Meanwhile, they trying to figure out what 15% of their $8 meal was.
General Tso's
talking about triangles, obtuse triangles.
Yo, speaking of tipping and shit, man, like, have y'all ever? Well, maybe I shouldn't have. How like were you guys tippers, or did you guys ever encounter somebody trying to run off on the tip or like run out on their meal? Or perhaps we shouldn't.
Not
I mean,
in my crowd, like not in our group, but I know my wife. She tells me this story all the time. That she was out with a bunch of people from her class, and they went like to beat ups or something, and then people were like paying like dimes and quarters because they didn't have the money, so they were like really like scrounging up change, or people
That's
just
crazy to
pay
me.
it all. So
that shit crazy to me. I never did. Like, okay, that's why I asked. Because I
ran out of Steak and Shake before.
I was just about to say, I know none of us ever did it.
Yeah, I used to be too scared to.
Yeah,
I mean,
me too. Me too.
Especially just because all the restaurants we went to were always in suburbs and shit, and so
too close to the crib.
I mean, it was just a thing of if shit happens in Gary, motherfuckers weren't really tripping on you. You know, it was dangerous, but it wasn't that deep. But if you do some shit in Portage or Hobart, then they come looking for your ass. Yeah. And so I was like, yeah, I'm good. It's fucking Steak and Shake. Like, it's not that deep. This burger meal and shake cost $6. Like, come on.
And for me, it was more so like because we went to the same restaurants over and over.
Over and over again.
It's like I don't want to do this and then come back like next week.
Yeah, because those fries are too good, man. Shit.
Them shoestring fries.
We used to kill Steak and Shake.
Yeah, we was at Steak and Shake, and it was also because we were all night owls, and it was the only place that was still open.
Shout out to the Royale Burger.
Shout out to that. What is it called? That patty melt.
Yes, that was my go-to.
I forgot what I used to get. I know I used to get shakes all the time. That strawberry and vanilla shake or something like that. I used to get that all.
I used to get some kind of cookie situation. But I don't necessarily remember I remember stupid things I used to say and feel as a kid and all of that. Like it came up on Facebook the other day and it made me think about it. A stupid belief I had was something that shout out to elementary school gym teacher
Miss Hazelette.
Miss Hazelette.
I saw her maybe a month or two ago at Popeyes.
Word.
Hey.
She was OG. I really used to enjoy her, even though she would like say a lot of fat shaming shit back in the day. Like when Big Pun died, she was like, I mean, she said, "Are y'all surprised?" She was a little ruthless about shit, but she also told us like even inactivity could be used as burning calories. So she was like, even if you stand still, you're still burning. And I was like, I said that to Womber one day because Womber was fat. And so I was like, yo, man, if you just be still, you could lose some weight too. And I now know that's not true at all. But because my teacher said it, and I considered like her mad gangster. Like I was like, yo, any woman that lives her day in tracksuits with a Jerry curl religiously
to this day,
that's a gangster ass woman in my opinion.
Because I saw her just a month or two ago. She still had a Jerry curl, still in her 80s sportswear, She's not letting that movement go.
I kind of respect the longevity.
Yeah. And she don't look that different either. I mean, she aged well. I mean, she's a gym teacher, so
she was always an active person.
Yeah,
even beyond
she was inspirational with the jump rope.
Jump rope for heart.
Jump rope for heart, man.
Heart, man. She was getting our hearts right.
Yo,
I remember in elementary school in Nobel Elementary, we had a little. I think after everybody had gone door to door for however long and tried to like raise money and shit, we had some like jump rope competition in the gym, and like a bunch of students and like teachers were there. And I went up there one time with some motherfucking dress suits and dress socks and like a fucking like an actual basketball suit on. And so I had the jersey and the fucking shorts and shit, but I didn't have my gym shoes. So I made a complete fool of myself by walking in there with pretty much a Nobel Elementary basketball uniform and then some Argyle socks on. And some fucking penny loafers, bro. I wish you could get a fucking picture of that, dog. Talk about making a fool of yourself, bro. That shit. And I definitely didn't win, but go figure.
Yo, speaking of making a fool of yourself, so the story I came up with was a basketball incident. Adam, you were there for this. So embarrassing story on my part. Me and a young brother with a very similar last name were having some basketball controversy in the midst of a like 3-on-3, 4-on-4. It was a half-court situation. And in the midst of it, he kept on trying to say like I was sorry and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, yo, but I got more points than you. What are you talking about? And so in the midst of all of that, I remember like not really even talking shit like that and going, yo, you know what you could really do? You could kiss my, and then I ran into the volleyball pole. I remember like right at the moment that I was about to say ass. And the way that I bounced back up to try to prove that I hadn't been hurt, but was excruciating thing.
That's always important.
Yo, you can't stay down.
Commit.
You can't stay down. You already about to get clowned for running into the pole because I was not looking at all. Didn't see it there.
The adrenaline is gonna make you pop back up anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey.
Yeah, I really do. Like, come to think of it, I really do wish we would have taken the fucking volleyball net down before we start playing basketball, like at lunch and shit.
Yeah.
Usually we did. I remember, like, get this shit out there.
I think that was just like, that was just fate for you that day, dog.
It was under the whole balcony thing, so it wasn't like breaking the court in half or whatever. But I just went too far over, wasn't paying attention, and so it like caught my shoulder, and I like went like I you know how like an orchestra conductor like faps the bottom of his suit jacket. Like he faps it back. Like that's how I fapped on the floor.
Rubber band, man. Taliban. Am I right? 45.
Oh yeah. That was one of those like stupid ass moments that controversy got the best of me. And yeah.
I feel you, yo. I speaking of like, I know we spoke about pyro, like being pyros earlier. I caught the steps on so I had steps on my old house leading up to the screened in porch. Y'all remember that with the balcony and shit. Mm-hmm. I caught those steps on fire as a kid, like broad daylight, playing with fire. I think I was just fascinated, man. I was burning leaves, and I was like fascinated by it. And then I held the leaf in my hand too long, so I dropped it. And then when it dropped and hit the other leaves that were seemingly perfectly ready to create a blaze, they were just waiting for me to drop it. This shit went from like 0 to 1,000, and then maybe like a minute or so, I'm trying to like stomp it out. My aunt comes out once, first time. She says, "What is that? You smell that?" I was like, "Oh, I'm making up lies and shit." Like, yo, the neighbors are cooking. Don't worry. You know, they barbecue this shit. You know, they be burning shit all the time. They can't cook that. The second time, are you sure? The third time, she sees the fucking blaze through the window. Like, you know?
Trying to kick it out.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, I'm doing jumping jacks and everything on that motherfucker. Yo, I'm running in place. I'm trying to get some exercise in the meantime.
She probably thought you was burning alive while you
Bro,
was
I
stumping it
know.
out.
All she said to me was, get in the house, grab the belt, and wait for me. Literally it. Literally it. So she puts the fucking fire out, and there's like black, all I don't what's it called when it smolders, like there's black ashes and shit, and all kinds of shit all over. I don't think we ever actually fixed that until we sold the house, but she comes back in, and that leads into the story I was talking about earlier, where it went from like 3 swats to 27 very quick.
So Aaron brings up a fascinating thing that if y'all are cool with saying this, what's one of the worst beatings you ever got?
That one. I was jumping around, bro. It was, she was trying to hit my butt, but she was, me like jumping around and shit and doing the Harlem Shake. She was hitting my shoulder, my back, everything. She was like, you need to just sit still. And it turned from like 3 to 27. And I finally just crawled out sheepishly. I was like, yo, you won, bitch, but I'll get your ass next time.
That's funny.
Can y'all recall one of your worst beatings? I can't.
Because I got so many. It's just, I don't know I don't know which one was the worst, but I will say,
pick a fan favorite.
I remember something with my grandmother. She had the Switch game. She had the Switch Bush, so she had some of the all-time greatest. She used to make us get the Switch. I'm sure that's a
old black traditions.
Yeah, you gotta get your own weapon to
psychological
get beat by
warfare.
That's when you learn like the thick one was the one you wanted.
But she really wouldn't let me pick a bad one. Like you had to pick, an exceptional weapon. I just remember one time throwing them away. So I think I will have to say the aftermath of doing that was probably my worst one. throwing the Switch away. That wasn't a good move.
Yeah. I have a follow-up question with you.
Wait, hold on, because Adam had a thought.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Also, I didn't just like throw it outside. I just like threw it away in the garbage, so it wasn't really very smart.
So for me, actually, I'm gonna tell you. I got like a story, like a fire. I actually have a lot of fire stories, but I'm gonna stick with one that's not gonna incriminate me. So. This one was kind of similar to Aaron's. Like I was on like the side of the house, and I had like the match boxes, but like the bigger boxes, not like the match book, but the bigger box, like cardboard, with where the whole side of it was a striking surface. So those are the best matches ever because the wooden ones is a huge flame, and those were really fun to play with. So I don't remember every single detail of the story, but I do remember playing with the matchbox, and it was real hot outside, and I was dropping them on the ground, and then I was just like stomp it out, like when it started to catch or something crazy like that. So I was doing that, whatever. And when I was done, I was like, okay, I'm going inside because I'm done. Maybe 15, 20 minutes later, we get a knock on the door, and it's my neighbor. Rest in peace, Mr. Green. But he knocks on the door, and he's like, and my mom answers, and I'm guessing he told her what he saw me doing. It was just playing with matches and dropping them on the ground. But what happened was the whole side of the house caught on fire. Not the house, but the grass.
Wow.
So, but I didn't realize that. But I guess that I don't know. I didn't realize it caught on fire, obviously. So I'm just downstairs playing or whatever while the side of the side part of the yard is on fire. And I guess he put it out himself because he just had a water hose and he put it out. But he told my mom that he saw me. But my thing is, as I think about it now, I'm like, if you saw me doing this, why didn't you say something like, "Hey,
that's what I was thinking."
Like,
why didn't you stop me? Put stuff on fire.
Yeah,
you just want to tell my mom.
Yeah, so I definitely got beat for that. I don't remember how bad it was, but I'm sure it was bad because my dad didn't play. I don't know if you remember my dad like that, but my dad is bigger than me, muscle wise, and he's like 70 now, but it's still bigger than me as far as muscle goes.
I haven't seen your dad in a very long time, but I do remember your dad.
And this was back then, so this was when he was probably like late 40s, so he's even in better shape. So and he had this one belt. You know how older men just keep stuff for a really long time, whether it's a wallet or a belt or whatever. He had this one belt that he had probably my entire childhood, this thick leather belt, and that's typically what we got beat with up until a certain point. And then when we got too big, he graduated into this evil concoction that he made. Where he took this old section of water hose, and then he took like one part of it and then folded it over, kind of to make a handle. So it's like, and then taped it or whatever. So that's like the handle. So, but the actual, I guess, the striking part was what was a old piece of water hose essentially, and that crap hurt.
Wow!
Damn, son.
Yeah, and like I said, my dad ain't no little dude. So
that's when creativity just this is not what this was meant for.
Yeah, could have been doing something a little more. No, go ahead, bro.
No, I just feel like old school parents are very creative in what they can use to.
I mean, he's what I get my creativity from, just in a different way. But like his ability, he's creative outside of that. Just his ability to solve issues creatively, I totally get that from him, 100%. Even though we're not blood related, I still learned a lot from him in that way. And how to like think like critically and creatively about stuff. But
that's awesome. I don't know if I know I met your mother a couple of times, but I'm not sure if I met your father. I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, you might have seen him a couple times too, but I know he used to work until like 6, 7 every day. So,
Oh, word. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I remember when I discovered like holding a lighter and spraying some
flammable
things.
Oh shit! Yeah, that was awesome.
That was a moment. Flamethrower!
Did your parents so
out of every aerosol?
after your ass whoopings, did your parents ever make you explain why you now tell me why I'm doing this? Tell me why you deserve this, and then my aunt would like force a hug on me.
Yeah,
nah.
Now come give me a hug after I just beat the shit out of you. Gonna give me a hug.
I wouldn't get a hug. I never definitely get a hug, but they would say they would often say this is gonna hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you.
Yeah,
and I was like, how?
Yeah.
But now I get it. I get it now. But back then I was like, what?
Because it's the thing of they don't want to actually inflict physical pain on their child, but you're like physical pain and the mental stress that you may be mental duress that you may be putting yourself under are not equal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, you don't know how hard you're swinging. Like you swinging this shit like you're Terry Crews. You're the like opposite of Terry Crews. Like, I don't know. And then she, like in the middle of it, she'd be like, now tell me why you deserve this. Like, yo, tell me what you did to deserve this. And I'm like, after the ass whooping, we're in the middle of the ass whooping. I can't do that. I can't think critically. You know what I'm saying? I can't, it's wild. And then we do the hug session.
I just want to point out
wild, man.
I want to point out the unintentional multiple what's the word I'm looking for? Entendre that you just went through, because you said wielding it like Terry Crews, and we know that just means strong, but also to provide an explanation to something that's obvious, because Terry Crews keeps saying things that point out that he's a dumbass. And so I just want to point out that's a brilliant double entendre that you didn't mean to say. And
yo,
genius, unconscious genius.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fuck Terry Crews.
I'm going with it. I'm gonna go along with it.
Love to Terry Crews because I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but also fuck Terry Crews because he somebody needs to stop him from saying stupid shit.
He's been on one several times.
Yo.
But anyway.
Trying to think. Oh, yo, worst beating that I can think of. That I can think of was me and my brother. We would occasionally get into fist fights, and fist fights didn't last long because he was always just stronger than me, even though I'm technically kind of bigger than him. I'm taller than him, but he's always been stronger than me. He would do this. He would do like an elbow drop forward jab motion that would just take me out every time. It wouldn't matter. It was literally. It was like a special move in like Street Fighter. Like, yo, it was nothing I could do against it. No matter what punch I was swinging, he would just bow, and like lay me out every time. And so this particular one time, my mom was like sick of it. And so she goes and grabs the belt that I'm pretty sure had to be like, I don't know, the length of Titanic, because she swung it out of sight. She did the way the room was set up. Y'all, it came from around the corner. Y'all remember how the upstairs was, and like my room was the one around the hallway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do.
She swung it from the other side of the wall, and like, I guess she like wanted, like she curved the bullet because. And I don't know if it was because she was like, I don't really want to hit y'all, so I'm gonna just swing it at the wall. And she didn't realize how close I was to the door, and so she swung it around the wall, and I got like lashed across the back to the point where I recall the living experience of all my ancestors, and I felt like I had a whelp, and blessedly it didn't. Like there's nothing, like there was no mark left on my back, but I felt like that was like the worst. That she just swung from around the corner with no kind of what's the word? Regard.
Human life.
like no regard for what was on the other side. You can't even see what you're swinging at. And she was just like, you know what? Whatever I hit is what I'm a fucking hit.
Damn, man.
And so,
I used to have them blocks. I used to have them.
What's really funny, as you made that motion, all I thought of was a Ludacris video. More than Moe's.
Bro, oh man. I'm like coming up. I don't want to say ashamed of myself, but as we tell these stories, I'm thinking about so many dumbass things that I did that like I'm like, damn, like one after the other. What was I? Like, I was on a fucking I was on a roll in the worst way.
That's the thing. When you're a kid, it's literally that thing that you're going to do dumbass things. It's almost unavoidable because you're a dumbass. That's really. I teach kids. Literally, all the kids that I have like taken under my wing. That I'm like, they call me Baba, which is father in Swahili, and all of that kind of stuff. Literally, I can go to any of them, and or you could, and you can go, hey, what's the family motto? And they'll go, real places go real places, which is like a thing that like to tell them how to transition inside of dance. And then they go, don't be a dumbass. Because I say that to them so often, because they'll come to me and go, this thing happened, then I did this, and then this happened. So a girl came to me and was like, hey, I saw you talking to my boyfriend, and so I want to fight you after school. And so I punched her in the mouth because I wasn't waiting until after school. And then I got suspended. And I was like, so let's look at the series of events. Where did it go wrong? The dumbass thing was she told you. She could have kept that to herself. Also, you didn't have to punch her in the mouth. You could have just said no. But it's that literally the thing of like process of decision making, pretty much critical thinking and decision making. Don't
I
be a dummy.
was about to say, I feel like punching him in the mouth right then instead of waiting was like a quick way to solve the problem. It was like quick, like critical thinking. You know, it's like, yeah, let me just solve this. Let me just solve this from point A to B the straight way instead of waiting a couple hours. Let me just get this shit done right now.
It's hilarious, but I'm also like, you're surprised you got suspended.
Yeah, that's the funny part. Oh man, so many, you actually brought one which I should be probably ashamed of now, but like in regards to fighting my older brother, y'all all met him, much bigger than me, athletic, and I feel like we used to, kind of verbally go at it all the time, just because I used to wild out, man. But this particular time, and here's the thing, to like provide some context, I feel like at least growing up, your family is who you could be your worst self with. You could, you know what I'm saying? Like you could I could say all kinds of shit and it'd be like, I'm gonna still get my blueberry pancakes tomorrow. You know, I'm like when you're angry and shit, I'm saying, you let that side, at least I would let that side of myself out and let it fly and be visible more often than like school or something. So like nothing was, what is the phrase? We didn't pull any punches. There we go. And I don't even know if I should say this. It's just like shameful, man. But I just remember the one time that my older brother Brandon knocked me out completely, clean, completely unkind, knocked me out. We were like going at it, and it probably started with like video games or something. But video games would turn into some real life shit. It was not just a game. It was like, all right, I'm about to make you cry. Like I'm about to bring up shit that happened 2 years ago just to make you cry. You know what I'm saying? And I think one of his friends had like committed suicide or something. And I brought that up, and he paused the game and gave me that right hook, and I just laid flat. I just lay flat on the pillow. I just lay flat. I just laid back on the bed. It was gone for who knows how long, man. I woke back up and was like, I'll never do that again. And that's all it took. He knocked me clean out, clean out.
Haymakers.
Yeah,
haymaker.
And like, I'm pretty sure I just let him play the rest of it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I let him play the game by himself the rest of that night. I was like, I'm gonna go. I'm just chill.
That shows you how he was looking out for you too, because he chose to lay you out where you could be comfortable in your unconsciousness.
And perhaps sleep a little bit longer because perhaps I needed it. You know what I'm saying?
He could have waited till y'all was in the driveway or something, let you in the middle of the grass. Could have been anything.
Yeah, man. It was just a crazy thing because his friend was like drunk driving in high school. So, it was a wild moment, man. Oh.
Damn.
You just brought that up. And I was like, I definitely have been knocked out cold completely. It was shameful, man. Crazy.
Is that some, and not to take it to a turn toward the heavy, but by all means,
I wasn't trying to. My bad.
No, it's fine. We because that kind of can lend itself toward a vulnerable moment, and we can keep this light. We can diverge from it. Have y'all had any experience with suicidal thoughts, feelings, people who have committed suicide, anything like that?
I've definitely not recently, but I want to say before I had some type of life change around like late 2011, I was definitely asking myself like, yo, is this shit worth it? For sure. That for sure was happening. Not like every day, but when I allowed myself to spiral, those things definitely did happen for sure. No doubt about it. Yeah.
AJ, Marco?
I never really had those serious. I feel like I've been depressed before, but not at that point. But yeah, I definitely. I think more people than we know actually had those type of thoughts. So I definitely try to offer people like some type of just to be there, just to talk with them or whatever. But I never really have had those personally.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't think that's something to be taken lightly, man. People.
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah, that's definitely a serious matter.
Because I don't know if we've ever had this particular conversation, and like I said, Balmans, we ain't got to have it on air. But not to force a vulnerable moment or not to take us into a heavier space, but because Aaron brought it up and it just made me think about how I don't know if I've necessarily ever asked y'all about if y'all experienced that. Because for myself, I have. My whole pubescent time was full of those feelings.
So are you saying you would come to school feeling that way, or was it like, did it happen
all the time?
But like, was it? I don't want to say what the catalyst. Maybe that's not the right term, but was it like maybe going through stuff at home and you bringing it to school, or the opposite, or both?
It was never really anything about home. It was really about social life for me, inside of what that depression was. Because I had, it wasn't even like low self-esteem. I had like negative self-esteem in regards to my relationship and interactions with women, with the women around us and all that kind of stuff. I did not think highly of myself whatsoever. And because my interactions with people were always in that regard, in romantically, in the romantic dimension, they were always kind of on the negative side. I didn't have that dimension of love for myself. I knew that I was a decent person, even though I had a whole lot of fucked up shit just due to social programming. I knew I had great friends. I knew I had a great family. Me and my main brother didn't really have a great relationship growing up, for whatever reasons. Even though we're great now. So I remember even thinking like, if I go, he'll be cool. Like he ain't really trying to have me around like that anyway, so it's cool. In which I know that that's not true and all that kind of stuff, because we even had a moment where we got into an argument over like video games, something like that. And I remember saying some stupid ass thing like, if I took myself out, then you wouldn't even have to worry about going through this with me. And I would like ran away crying and all that kind of stuff. And I remember he ran up to me and he punched me in the jaw so hard that I left my feet. And I assume this is what Dragon Ball Z characters felt like when like they went into the next dimension or whatever. Cause and he was just like, don't ever say nothing that fucking stupid again. And that was like, for me, that was the first time I recognized like, oh shit, my brother actually cares about me.
Yeah.
Like in besides the obligatory ways of you care for family. Mm-hmm. That was the time he like actually showed that to me. So and not to be on my own put myself there, but I was just curious as what y'all experiences were like that.
Oh, bro, that's for me wonderful.
Well, like for me, like because I'm weird, I guess. In my my relationship with the ideas of death I don't have a fear of it, I guess. So
Same, actually.
For me, it's like I've thought about it, but not like I'm gonna do it. It's more so like I wonder what if, like what the outcome would be as far as people that I know. More so like how would it change? Because it's gonna change somebody's life, Mm-hmm. I just thought about it in that way, like, and then I would think about like, well, at least I don't have to pay bills anymore. And then I would think about the positives, like, well, I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
And I know that's a terrible way to think about it. Especially,
I don't think it is. I don't think it's terrible.
I mean, I'm saying that people that are listening to this, maybe they have somebody in their life that has done that. And then, so I don't mean, so for people that are listening, I'm not taking it lightly whatsoever.
No, not at all. Yeah.
I'm just saying that for me, when I think about it, I don't think about it in that way. I think about it like, I wonder, like if I do go, is there heaven? Is there hell? Because I know I was raised in church, but I don't necessarily go anymore, to be honest. And I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what to believe, to be quite honest.
Bro, I just want to say something real quick. Like you bring up a good point because like that's how I view it now. I'm more so curious, about especially even like how I was conditioned to believe certain things in the first place, and like if I wasn't like to fear death or for it to be such a huge thing. Like if I wasn't conditioned that way, who knows what my relationship would be? It would have been more like it is now earlier on. I wouldn't have suffered as much if I didn't have this idea that I had of death in general. You know, I feel like it was rather unhealthy. You know,
I mean, death is one of those things that you're just taught to fear because you're taught to fear, conditioned to fear anything considered unknown. For anyone who's listening, I'm making air quotes. And it's literally that thing of. I was having this like debate with my mom a minute ago because we were arguing about my stepping away from Christianity, the Christianity that she raised me inside of, and love and all power to her and the wonderful job she did raising me and my brother. But it was that thing of I was like, I'm not concerned about what happens when I die. I don't care. I really don't care. And here's the thing: no one knows. Not a single person. Not one has ever gone and came back and like, yo, they got Baskin Robbins over there. Like no one fucking knows. like no one knows. And so here's the thing. Why am I going to concern myself about this thing that is intangible and unpredictable when I can focus on the things that are right here that are completely within reach or at least feasible to conceive of? That's just my perspective anyway.
Well, Marcus, I feel like you were going to say something, bro.
No, I was just going to say like that. I agree with what y'all saying. That's how I look at death. Like, I really don't. It's something that I want to learn more about instead of, I think that should be our goal, is to learn more about it. And instead of like these subjects that make us scared, we should actually, that's the whole point of like things that are unknown, is to, maybe the fear is because we haven't explored. Okay, like that was one thing that the ancient people of Kemet or Egypt or whatever you want to call it, like they really emphasize like how to die and like stuff like that. They had a connection to the afterlife that I don't think we really get. I mean, in some ways, like I feel like all type of ancient cultures kind of accepted death as just another phase of life. It was a transition. Yeah. Right. Because just the word death in itself is like a condition. Like we think that we wither away or whatever, but like I believe that, you know, anything with energy or whatever, we have consciousness. It can't just, our consciousness doesn't die, I don't think. So that's a reason to not fear death to me. And all of the experiences and soul experiences and things that people and things that we interact with now, I think it's all connected to death, and whatever happens after we die is still all connected. So there's you can't really want to run away from life. That's how I feel whenever I think about suicide and stuff like that. Is like, okay, I could take myself out of this situation, but I'm still gonna carry on that. However I thought about myself then, I feel like it's going to carry on to wherever I go next. Like it may be brought on by physical attributes or physical conflict or interactions. Like Josh said, like it was because of his interactions socially, you know, that I don't want to speak for him, but I'm just saying, like paraphrasing, like that caused him to view himself differently.
I mean, here's the thing. I don't ever want to make it seem like I'm blaming people for how I viewed myself. It's self-esteem. Like you're the one in control of it. It was always a thing of based on my experiences and my kind of like innate love for context clues and deductive reasoning, I would go, yo, I'm always everybody's friend, but I can't get a girlfriend to save my life. And I feel like getting a girlfriend is going to validate me as a person and all of that kind of bullshit. And since it wasn't happening, I was like, oh, I guess I don't have value. But and it all led to those things until I got a better understanding of like who I am and how I can exist and all of that kind of stuff. And so
I guess
young brain.
Right. I guess what I'm trying to say, it was an internal battle, you know?
Yeah.
It wasn't like, you know, nobody forced you. I mean, it was circumstances. But at the same time, the healing was a mental or internal thing. So wherever we take our mental, you know, we still gonna have to deal with conflict. So
right.
I always thought of it of suicide as you're really not giving up those things that you're hunted with. You just kind of taking it to the next place.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I don't know, but I would agree. Like that seems like it would be sensible for me. For me, I think some things are best left to experience. You know, we'll know eventually.
I do have a quick question before we wrap up about suicide. Like when I was growing up, you know, I think it was common. People still have this feeling, but I would say a good 20 years ago, maybe even 15, people would say that people that commit suicide are weak or they're taking the easy way out, etc. Like, how do you feel about that idea?
I think that idea is stupid, personally. And I think people making those kind of statements toward folks when you don't live inside of their mental experience is not only irresponsible, it's extremely inconsiderate. I do, because they're always saying that from the perspective of those who have to deal with that death, which is valid to a degree. At the same time, I personally, as someone who's been in it, can kind of dismiss it, only because I can only tell you what my young brain was thinking at the time. I was like, yo, my parents will miss me, but people die. And to tell you a whole stack of what my young brain did, it was like this: niggas die every day. It was that thing of like, they'll miss me, but folks die. People get over it. And I really truly believe, to some degree, to this day, that people don't really care about dying. People care about how long your memory gonna last.
All right. Now, I do agree with that. I think that because, like, from my experience, all you know of that person is your experience of them anyway. So when they go, you know what I'm saying? So when they go, you're like missing that, or you know, which I'm not saying is necessarily a bad thing. That just seems like it's the case. Now, in regards to what Adam said, I feel several things, but this is the thing that comes up with enough words for me to actually speak on it coherently. But you know, sometimes you just feel some shit, you know, it's more. It's like, but this is what comes out. This is what comes out. But I do think, and I'm saying this from experience of having, I guess you'd call them suicidal thoughts, or definitely questioning, is it worth it? Why am I not where I feel like I should have been at this point in my life? I'd rather just dip. Eventually I did ask myself the question, like, I recognized that there was ego in that. So like, I remember laughing at myself one time saying, like, I'm acting as if life just chose me to be an asshole to and to suffer, and no one else is going through shit. That's the whole suit. So when somebody says like, "Oh, it's ridiculous. You're a pussy. You're a coward," or whatever, I would never use that. That seems too degrading, but I recognize some ego in my suicidal thoughts or whatever for sure, to be like, I'm definitely thinking about myself way too much. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I'm definitely caught in my own shit, like assuming that like life would specifically point me out to cause suffering and like nobody else. I just don't believe that anymore. It's not my experience.
If I may, Aaron, my lady said something to me that I still find profound to this day, and I know I don't remember who the quote is from, so forgive me, whoever's listening to this. If you know it was you, shout out to you. She was like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you think you're the shit or you think you ain't shit. Your ego is the problem.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. I've heard it quote similar ways of like, whether you think you're right or wrong, you're right about it, or something like that.
And so it's literally that thing of like, yeah, that decision is made out of ego, because whether or not you're thinking extremely highly of yourself, I've been on the opposite end of the spectrum. It took a lot for me to realize that most of those feelings and everything like that were completely egotistical, because they were completely circulating me and in very little consideration of those around me. At the same time, all of your decisions will always mostly affect you, and then everyone else is a bystander. And so it's that thing of I've never really necessarily thought of myself on this high pedestal. I have to work to bring myself to par.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement for sure, man. That's definitely like my experience more than not. Like, I'm speaking for something that is like, as I came to that understanding of like, I even had to laugh at myself after crying and like being like, yo, maybe like I would rather not deal with this right now. I might just go, or, like, and then seeing it and recognizing it, like, and actually having a moment where I laughed at myself, like, yo, I'm assuming that my shit is the greatest drama of all time, and no one else, like, life is just picking me out of, life is specifically picking me out. Like, there's no balance. There must be no balance in the world. And I was just like, ridiculous.
That's like how I felt like when I was depressed. I think the only thing that really resonated with me in my mind is that I realized, and I don't know if this is for everybody, but I realized that it wasn't helping me to stay in that frame of mind. It was somewhat of me blaming things outside of me for my condition.
Me too.
And the only thing that gave me motivation was a sense of that no one was really going to get me out of that except for myself. Nobody really cares. Not that people don't care, but nobody is going to care as much as you.
Nobody got their own mindset.
Right. Nobody,
own mind frame.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody can actually care as much as you.
Right.
So it's like I realized how unproductive I was being. I mean, efficiency is not like a top priority when you're depressed, but I think that was the ultimate realization for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think realizing you had an option. Yeah.
Right. Like, it was like, maybe the option is making myself, like people say, pull yourself up from the bootstraps and stuff like that. And that's totally ridiculous.
Bullshit. Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like a way to oversimplify something that it may seem complex, but it actually is kind of simple in that you can't take this too serious. Like, whatever you're going through, for me, it was realizing that we are kind of in the matrix, kind of, because we are bound by these specific boundaries and rules.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like everybody has failed in this experience, like many times. Like,
right.
We live in a time where our failures are magnified through social media, or I was reading this thing today where they had asked Joey Badass about council culture, and he said exactly how I felt about it, in the sense that it's just very stupid to think that or expect everybody to be perfect and have this high bar. Like,
That's
it's
what I be
like,
saying, man.
can we fail? Can we mess up and be redeemed? And is like the magnifying glass on not even just celebrities now, is everybody. It's like, well, I mean, have you failed and became somebody else in that experience? Everybody has experienced that before.
You know what though? I think like the challenge, at least now, is when something hits you personally, still being able to have that clarity. Specifically when something hits you personally, and then act from that clarity.
I remember when I was depressed, I was just like saying, like, to the universe, like, I want that clarity that Aaron is talking about. Like, when something that I'm doing that's out of place or is not in line, I want to know, I want that karma immediately. Like, I want to feel that, like, sooner than later, you know? I think that type of awareness is kind of like calming to me, to know that, like, okay, it's like what you get in, what you get out, what you put in to this world, you know? And I think that's very true.
And I think each time that situation happens and you get out of it, like and life goes on, you realize, oh shit, okay, I made it through again and again. I made it through again and again.
Yep. So the more you deal with, like, instead of running away from it, the easier it becomes to just be yourself. Like, it's not serious. All of this seems very serious right now, but it's really not. I don't think it is.
Adams, you got any thoughts with him?
I would just on that point, because for me, I feel like I'm not where I want to be right now, but I always think about, well, I mean, I'm good. I'm eating every day. I'm okay. So it's like, but one thing, my last point on all of this would be as far as the suicide thing. And because my question was like, do you think people are selfish, weak, etc. commit suicide? For me, that used to be my opinion. Like, yeah, this person is weak, but this is like high school age, 18, 19, whatever. But now that I know so much about the human mind, it's like, I mean, for somebody to take their own life is like, okay, so like your mind, your body wants to stay alive, no matter what.
Yeah.
It's doing its best to keep you alive for as long as it possibly can. So for your mind to break down and reach that point of you're now comfortable with dying, and then you go and do it, I feel like there's so much had to go wrong for you to get to that place. And it's like, I don't think that person is weak or or a coward at all. Actually, I'm not saying, oh, they're a hero or anything, but what I'm saying is like,
right. It's still not. It's like, that's necessarily mean the same thing, but yeah. Yeah.
It's just like, no, this person really needed help and nobody was there for him. That's sad to me. It's like, I feel so sad for people that feel like that was the option, because like I said, like your body, mind, etc., soul.
It's about all preservation, right?
It wants to be alive, no matter. That's why, like, you hear those stories about like the people that like were stranded on like out in like the middle of the ocean for a week, and they survived, or those crazy stories like that. And like, that's all mental strength right there. It's like, so for that to break down, and then for people to go ahead and commit suicide is like, I mean, that's just, to me, that's an extreme condition. It's like, it's crazy.
And even with that's all those thoughts are made with the assumption of what we consider normalcy, right? And because people have different cognitive functions, different mental capacities, different emotional capacities, different chemical makeups, etc. Like, how should I say? Normal ain't really normal. Like there isn't really such thing as a normal, but we function inside of what society has conditioned us to believe as, oh, this is the basic way of being.
I mean, we know that already by DNA. Like,
yeah, that's what
if it is. Yeah, I know. I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying, like, just do what we know about like traits that's passed down. Like, I think, if I'm not mistaken, like, I don't want to really go back to the suicide thing, but like those traits are in DNA too. I think.
I can't necessarily. I won't say that for myself, anyways, because I don't know anybody in my family to ever had that experience. They could have. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think depression can be hereditary.
Depression can be hereditary, definitely.
Yeah, and that could lead to
that. May be what you meant. I'm sorry if I misinterpreted.
Yeah, I think I meant that, but I think just from that point we can kind of conclude that people who are more prone to depression are more prone to suicidal episodes. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, sometimes we're talking about actually transcending that aspect, like overcoming generational curses and generational, things that are passed down from not only in our bloodline, but in our what we interact with,
Yeah, man. I still see momentum from living a certain way or living from a certain space for so many years. I still see momentum in like the knee-jerk reaction or the compulsiveness in my thoughts, actions, and all of that. I still see that shit. So, but I'm just more like you spoke about awareness earlier. I just realized that I have a choice. I have another option now.
Yeah,
and that's freeing, man.
And maybe we can talk about this at a later episode. Yeah. But you did make a good point. Like, and I know people absolutely hate when people blame stuff on slavery, but the fact is that horror and that
trauma.
Trauma. That's what I'm thinking of. That trauma and PTSD, like that PTSD, whatever. Like that. Like somebody wrote this that somebody had to like study, essentially proving that people are still affected through hereditary, et cetera, purely based off of slavery, and it happened 400 years ago. So when people say, "Oh, it happened 400 years ago," yeah, there you go. That's exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah. So. Yo, the energy of that for sure. I believe that for sure. I love the idea. Like, I like to see when, like, to me, it just takes one person to step to like rise above just as an individual. And like, I would hope that I wish we have more of those where people like rising, like being those wow cases or like rising above something, and then it's inspired others. Be like, oh shit, I have an option. I have like it's humanly possible to rise above, That's wonderful to see and hear, man.
And just to go off like what Adam was saying, I know we trying to wrap up, but it's like we getting deeper into it. Like the system of slavery and that whole the genocide and all that stuff.
yo, fucking look, man. I'm about to block out the next 2 hours. Let's get into it, man.
I was about to say, like, they designed it that way. So it's it's more than a conspiracy, is an actual thing. Like, it's well documented that
it's not a conspiracy. It's just fact.
Yeah. Conspiracy.
It's even. Go ahead.
Actually,
go ahead, Marco.
Conspiracy don't really mean that it's false. People need to actually look into
it. It just means that there's it's highly speculated. But
it don't even mean that. It just means that it actually
look it up.
it just means that somebody is conspiring and you have a theory about it. Or somebody may not be conspiring, but you have a theory about somebody conspiring against a certain whatever. So it's like you can be wrong. Somebody could be conspiring against you, you know. But
conspiracy, a secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful, or the action of plotting or conspiring.
And then it's like everybody providing their ideas or beliefs about it without necessarily knowing. Is that what you're saying?
So it's a group of people that are
that are planning to do something unlawful or harmful, or because lawful and harmful often the same thing, and or the action of plotting or conspiring.
So I guess we would have to know the definition of conspire too, but
I mean, I do hate it when they try to
like they refer to the root word. But anyway, I kind of lost what I was saying through all of that.
Sorry.
Damn, what was I saying?
I can say the definition of conspire while you think of that. So conspire, make secret plans jointly to commit an unlawful or harmful act.
So the same thing. Well, I mean, it's a scientific fact that like energy can't be created or destroyed. So that energy from that, however long, is definitely still here. You know,
I think that's what we was just talking about.
I think that's kind of what like,
the whole design of that for trauma in the future. They designed it for us to still have these dampering qualities that's not allowing us to rise to the level that we know we could be or whatever. Is a conspiracy against that. I think that's been well documented.
I can't let this topic go without also providing something that has helped for me, that scientific. Yeah, I could, but something fairly uplifting. That there are certain methods like that of meditation and yoga for individuals that are scientifically proven to alter cells and brain waves and all these, and a lot of these things that we thought could not be altered for the better of an individual. So I do want to point that it's scientifically proven to alter in positive ways. People who we felt were once known to not be able to change, or, oh, it's just hereditary. Oh, it's just this. Well, that shit it is possible now. And I just love that. I love when I find out that things are humanly possible now that I thought, or people thought I was told, or that I had the belief was not humanly possible. So I love having options and being aware of them. So I wanted to point that out, that it's a wonderful thing, And that's my take on it.
I'm gonna respect that and also negate it slightly, just because I'm like, yoga has never brought me calm or helped. Well,
you're not doing the right way. Allow me to introduce you to different forms.
No, I'm joking. And for anybody that's just listening and not watching, the book that I held up, in case you were wondering when Adam was like, yeah, that's it. It's Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome, America's Legacy of Enduring Injury and Healing by Dr. Joy DeGruy. Right?
I love her. Yeah.
Yeah. I got to meet her a few months back because a piece that I choreographed got performed for one of her book signings. So she, her gorgeous ass daughter, literally handed me this as I hugged her, and so brilliant book. And yeah, go ahead, Marco.
Oh, never mind. I wanted you to finish.
No, I was done. Go ahead.
Okay. Is this, when y'all get the chance, is this thing called epigenetics?
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know about that.
So it says epigenetics is the study of how the expression of DNA can be changed without changing the structure of DNA itself. Understanding what causes disease is essential to not only create treatments, but also to work towards a way of presenting the disease, or they talking about disease in specific there, but like it's just an interesting thing if y'all look into that. And there's this doctor called his name is Bruce Lipton.
Mm.
And he talked like about that in depth, and it's very interesting because we was just talking about that. Huh?
You make the IC?
I don't know what you mean. Oh, Lipton. Okay. I was not even thinking. Okay. Hey, that would be a nice little what Adam called it. That would be a nice
what is it called?
G-Wiz information.
G-Wiz information.
He actually made the teas.
And brisk. Brisk commercials.
Baby.
Yo, that came on right after that Celebrity Death Match. Remember that show?
Oh man, the greatest form of claymation ever.
Yeah.
Besides Kazam on Nickelodeon.
Chicken Run.
Oh, and Chicken Run, right?
Yeah.
PJs are pretty good too.
And the PJs. Excuse me. I have forgotten about the legacy of claymation in America.
Jack Frost, we gonna go back.
Yeah, I was about to say that. The fucking Rudolph and the Christmas specials, man. Yeah.
Yo, Jack
Frost that back.
Jack Frost used to be creepy as fuck to me.
Yeah, he was.
Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah, I think that's a part of the Chicken Run thing.
That is, Chicken Run was a spinoff of Wallace and Gromit, wasn't it? Was it all the way around?
I just know it's made by the same people. I'm not sure.
Same people. Word. Okay. Welp. This is the 6th episode where I ended in Welp.
Had the hard end there.
Side note, we're gonna come up with some merch that says forthright, vulnerable, and honest, or whatever, because of how many times or whatever is said on this podcast. And but we want to thank y'all for listening again. This is always fun. We started out in a light note. I took it in a bit of a denser and heavier direction, but it was, we had a conversation as it organically happened. So I thank y'all for indulging me. Again, if you enjoy what we talk about, by all means, you can always write in. If you think that we don't know what the fuck we're talking about, you're probably right, because who did research? And so, by all means, write us in, let us know the good, bad, the indifferent. We are welcoming all feedback until, the day that we actually get some traction and becomes internet trolling, and then we will tell you we don't want your fucking feedback. Until then, tell us whatever the fuck you want to. Write us at informedlyhonestpodcast@gmail.com. I'm sure Adam is going to add at the bottom. Because he be on them graphics. And so we will thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. To our YouTube community, don't pay attention to if it only says 5 views. That's your fault. Tell somebody about us.
No, we deserve more than 5 views.
Most definitely.
Hey, if each of us watch it, that means one other person may be watching. Come on, man.
Yo, when I see 11 views, I'm like, okay, so really that means 7, because that means the 4 of us watched it and 7 other people did. But
honestly, I don't typically watch it because I see enough of it.
You do the editing, so I get it. I get it why you don't. And we're not taking it. We're not taking for granted those of you who do stick with us. We appreciate all 9 of you. And so we want to thank you. And we're just trying to grow. So by all means, tell folks about us. Like, subscribe, follow.
Even if you're not feeling it, at least maybe it's not for you.
Be like, there's these dudes from Gary that just be talking shit about music and life and epigenetics. And, you can be like, hey, I didn't really get into it like that, but that might be something you into. So, check it out. Because much like most of the people that we knew in high school that told us they didn't like the brand of some of the hip hop artists that we listened to because it made them think too hard. So,
yeah, chances are somebody who finds this awesome. So just find that person. Let them know.
We just want to show our gratitude, and we want to ask you, share it.
Expand your mind.
Don't just listen to it for yourself. Share it. Okay, gifts are meant to be shared. And now I know that sounds mad arrogant because I call what we're doing a gift, but we're artists and we make fucking art.
We share
and we sharing it.
We took our time.
By all means, when's the last time you had a real conversation? Especially in this age where you can barely look people in the eye. Granted, this ain't completely looking people in the eye because I'm looking at my screen and not in the camera, but you know what I mean. Okay, and I'm not counting you irresponsible ass folks who are, throwing parties in your house and orgies and shit, right? But,
as bad as I want to, man.
Yeah, President Trump holding a rally.
That was crazy.
You ain't gonna get out of that one either. On Juneteenth in Tulsa. The place that we just mentioned. That's mad disrespectful, man. On Juneteenth.
Acting like he didn't know. But
all them thousands of people.
He probably didn't. I guarantee you it's one of his advisors, because he's not smart enough to be creative. That's like what I mean. Yeah. It's one of his advisors, like, let's do this.
I think it was intentional. I don't know if it came from his mind, like you said, but
yeah, I don't think it came from his mind, but I'm sure it came from Stephen Miller's mind.
That was a chess move,
or Stephen Miller, whatever his name is.
That was a chess move, man. But
no doubt. But again, you can always write us, give us your thoughts, give us shit to talk about, give us stuff to unpack, tell us that we are great or that we suck. Either one, it doesn't really matter, okay? Just know that if you tell us we suck, we're probably going to shout you out. If you tell us we're great, we'll shout you out too, but we will probably roast you if you're the former. And yeah, informally honest at informally honest podcast at gmail.com. Or you can follow us on Facebook at Informally Honest Podcast or Instagram at Informally Honest. We love you.
Catch us on the World Wide Web.
Hey,
www.
But you know what it is. 3 times. All right. Last thoughts, final words.
Stay tuned, y'all. More to come.
Yeah, thanks for following. If you're still following this late in the game, or this early in the game, I'm saying this early.
We still in the team.
Just getting started. Started.
We in the pubescent phase of our episode log.
Yeah. Hopefully we ain't offend nobody. We love you.
It's never meant with the intention.
Don't be mad.
But by all means, if you're mad about something, tell us. Write it. We'll address it on a later episode. It might be like 6 episodes in the future, but I promise we'll get to it. Okay.
Yeah, I've been getting some flack for that.
Yo, I keep telling y'all, like I people will tell me stuff and I tell them in full conversation as soon as they go, like, hey man, you know what blank somebody said, I'm like, you know what you can do? You can write us at Informally Honest Podcast at gmail.com because you telling me right now they ain't gonna make no difference with me. But yeah, we appreciate y'all. We are 4 brothers from the neighborhood of Miller Beach in Gary, Indiana, that pride ourselves on having candid conversation that is rooted in being forthright, vulnerable, and most of all, honest.
Can't look in the
Peace.
eyes of my
Peace,
brother
y'all.
without shedding a tear for my brother. I really wanna try for my brother.
Just like Nardwuar, like the end of a Nardwuar interview.
To my brother. I'll teach the truth to my brother.
Here's a little bit messy, but we'll figure it out. All right, and welcome back to the unnamed comic book show here for Blurred Out Radio and Perfect Strangers. I'm your host Kenny, and today we are talking about one of my favorite comic books, graphic novels, whatever you want to call it, Animal Man, volumes 1, 2, and 3. They're basically 27 issues of Grant Morrison's really historic run. First off, Grant Morrison is the writer, art by a bevy of folks, Chaz Truog, Doug Hazelwood, Tom Grummett, Steve Montana, Mark McKenna, Mark Farmer, and Paris Collins. While the inside of this book is amazing, it's the covers that are done by Brian Boland that really kind of just draw you into these comics. I mean, every cover, and thankfully the trades actually keep those covers intact for each issue. So you see Brian Boland's just really cool artwork that just kind of leads you into the Animal Man series. Grant Morrison's Animal Man is a timeless piece of work, in my opinion. It's a comic that really subverts that 80s genre that was very much dark, gritty, really devoid of hope, really violent. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of my favorite stories kind of come from that era in terms of like the Frank Miller stuff we get, anything Alan Moore wrote. The list kind of goes on. I mean, Chuck Dixon. We get a lot of really interesting stories, but they all kind of come to one theme, and it's really centered around this idea of hopelessness. And what we get here with Grant Morrison's Animal Man is basically a realignment of the character for Buddy Baker, as we find him not just as a hero, but as an animal rights activist. So he's in his 30s, he's trying to figure out what he wants to do in life, and he realizes that, it's time for Buddy Baker to be a full-time superhero. We also, as opposed to many of the other heroes we see through any comic book, hi bud, I guess you can call me Animal Man myself because the cat just kind of came through. But since we're on the idea of Animal Man, basically Buddy Baker it has his powers, and he's part-time in it. Well, not even part-time in it. He was barely doing it as a superhero, but now he wants to fully join the Justice League, become a hero, and he does that. But what ensues throughout the next 3 volumes is Buddy Baker essentially finding himself and finding some interesting villains and teaming up with some pretty cool heroes you probably only really see on like Justice League Unlimited, which shout out to B'wana Beast and Vixen and Martian Manhunter, who all show up in random issues. There's a clear plot that Grant Morrison's going through that I don't want to give away, because the really cool part of the story is that each issue of Grant Morrison's run, yes sir, he also wants you to pay attention to the sub-stories and the subplots in the background, because small characters become major characters and you don't realize it. So there's a lot going on, and at times the story can get a bit preachy because Animal Man is a vegetarian, and that becomes a whole thing. And it kind of aligns with its writer, Grant Morrison, who he himself is a vegetarian. I'm not sure if he's still a member of PETA and all that, but all these things of activism in the 80s and environmentalism become key issues to Animal Man and to that time in the 80s. And honestly, here in 2020, some of the issues that Grant Morrison speaks on, and those issues kind of still speak to what's going on in our society today. So you really get a sense that Grant Morrison really had his own idea for the character Buddy Baker, and it's tremendous. The MVP, though, of the story of the entire run is Mirror Master, who essentially, at the beginning of the story, was sent to assassinate Buddy and his family, because I think I'm not sure, the cat interrupted me when I was getting to the point that Buddy Baker has a family. And so not only do we see Buddy Baker the superhero, this is also about Buddy Baker, the father, the husband, trying to do his best to kind of balance that home life and that hero life. And you see that they clash early and often with some dark results, but also some beautiful moments as well. So Mirror Master comes into the story with Buddy, and it becomes this whole ridiculous thing where Mirror Master just kind of completely shit talks Buddy Baker through different points of the story, and also ends up helping Buddy at one of the pinnacles, the big parts of the story, the climax, as one would say. I really enjoy the story. There's nothing more I can say about it. The best issue is A New Science of Life, and this is basically where Buddy takes a handful of peyote, and the art becomes just this next level thing of colors and shapes and stars. And next thing you know, the fourth wall is completely broken, and Buddy Baker looks at you, the reader, and has this whole epiphany that he's just a character in the story, which leads us to like this even bigger just kind of scope of breaking the fourth wall that even Deadpool will be a little bit jealous of, where Animal Man meets his writer, and they have this whole just existential conversation, and it all comes back to the Coyote Gospel, which is my second favorite issue in this book, where you kind of see how a coyote and a man are hunting. Well, one's hunting one. I won't tell you who is hunting whom, but it becomes this thing of sacrificing one's life for the greater good, and just the idea of grieving and loss. There's so many different elements that Grant Morrison has at play throughout the entire 27 issues of Animal Man that it becomes just this great vehicle, timeless comic, where in the midst of all things going on around you, it's one of my favorite books to just pull out when I'm feeling kind of lost, and I just need something just to kind of like reconfirm that, things around me are crazy, but they're not as crazy as they could be, and there's always hope. There's always a light there, even when we don't truly feel it. So check out Animal Man Volumes 1, 2, and 3. There's actually a newer edition out as well that I think is hardcover, and I think I should know this. I work at First Day Comics, where you can actually pick this up. I definitely know we have a hardcover because I have one in the box for myself. So if you want to check out Iron Man, I've been playing an Avengers video game, and I'm currently playing as Iron Man. So Iron Man's been in my mind because I want to max out some of his skills, and I want some of his armors. So Iron Man has been in my mind most of this morning. But not Iron Man, Animal Man's Volumes 1, 2, and 3 by Grant Morrison. Pick it up. One of my favorite books of all time. Take it easy. You all have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. Put on a mask. Put it over your nose, please. And have a good one. I love you. Kenny out, Blurred.radio, and Perfect Strangers. Peace.
Don't like my lord, I'll take a high life, and that's for short. Champagne, all the beers we got, full ears, black people unite. Woo, I'm light skinned. I mean, I might, but
I want you to know that's how the stream is gonna start off.
You said what? Oh shit! That's all right. I'm gonna be famous off of it. Let's go.
We're live on the radio, folks.
My name is Maverick.
Lord, his name's not Maverick. So normally this is where we would do a pun about being ready, and then we would have some sound clip of somebody saying I'm ready. What I was not ready for this week was the passing of my good friend RJ Lacey, as well as the passing of Kobe Bryant today. That's pretty tragic, and his daughter. So let's do a moment of silence for RJ, Kobe, and what's Kobe's daughter's name?
Gianna.
And Gianna Bryant. All right. I am Mike Stidham, and you are listening to Blurred.radio. Bam! I'm pretty sure I just messed something up because I hit the enter button on the keyboard in front of me. There's a lot going on.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah. But once again, I am your host, Mike Stidham. To my left is co-host Steve.
What it do?
To his left, co-host DJ Elokari.
Yo. DJ Elokari.
And today we have two very special guests, both friends of mine. One a friend of Steve's. DJ Elokari doesn't know either of these people.
I'm excited. It's gonna be fast friends. Fast friends.
We have Rashawn Nolan. Yo.
Sorry, I've been waiting to use it, man.
He is a father.
That's very appropriate.
Yeah,
very appropriate.
And Blake Morris. So, folks, as we always do, we are going to start off the show with blurt outs.
Blurt it out.
Today, my blurt out is, you know what? This is from last night. I started playing Dishonored 2. I'm not a huge gamer, but I got Dishonored 2 because it was like $5. They say in this game, it's one of those like sneak or kill people games. They say in the beginning, you know, you can choose your play style. You can sneak around and like throw glasses to distract people and choke them out. Or you can just run up to people and start swinging at them. I am definitely the run up and start swinging type. So I ran up and I killed like 27 people on the first board. One of them was a journalist. I wasn't supposed to kill her. That was just me trying to see if I could kill him. And then when he screamed to die and it said saving, I was like, that's not. But yeah, then at the end of the first board, you find out that you get extra points for not being spotted and not killing anybody. And then it tells you on the second board, if you kill too many people, it messes up your game. And I was like, what? I thought I could just run in and stab everybody. I don't understand. So I'm not happy about this. Shout out to Bethesda and whoever else made Dishonored 2. You lied to me. And when I get the bad ending on the game, I'm gonna send you an angry letter. Steve, what's your blurt out?
I started watching this anime on the Netflix called Cannon Buster.
Hey,
that was made by a black guy.
It was made by a black guy, and it felt like it too. Yeah. It wasn't very good.
Dang, man.
It was like
LaShawn Thomas.
Hey, LaShawn Thomas. Like the animation style is beautiful. The story has a lot of potential. The music is wonderful, but the overall story arc of it isn't that good. Sorry.
What's the story about?
I can follow it, bro. It's about a dude that's a fugitive. He meets up with two. One is a maintenance droid. The other one is like a I don't know. Yeah, like a robot, but like way more human. What do you call that? Like Android. Yeah. And he can't die, or he can die, but it gets tattooed on his body every time he gets shot. Okay. Or killed or whatever.
I think it was a dope aspect of it though.
I like Tupac.
It was interesting aspect.
There was a lot of things that were interesting about it, but it kept me watching because it was interesting, but it never took off really.
At any point, did he get a tattoo that said "nothing to lose" around his gun wound?
No.
That's a Biggie verse for anybody. a Biggie love for anybody.
Yeah, but it was look, the music in the show is great. Like, but I think it does deserve a season 2 just for him to get off on a good story. Yeah.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
DJ Elokari, what is your blurt out for me?
Blurt it out.
So let me see so one of my favorite Netflix documentaries is back for its 4th season now, which is Hip Hop Evolution. This time they spent some time discussing like the Dirty South and everything like that, Memphis, also Tennessee and whatnot. So, and we'll be discussing a couple of more of those artists that were featured in just a little bit. But yeah, man, just like hearing the stories of how, you know, Big Timers and all them came up, giving the proper respect to No Limit and Master P. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's always good to like see how people's come up, you know what I mean? Like, and who influenced each person to like get into where they are. And it's a really dope like evolution. If you've watched the entire like documentary, it's by far one of my favorites. You see, also this week, randomly, I watched 101 Dalmatians. Like the original cartoon. Yo, like
it's a weird concept.
So weird, man.
Yeah. She wants to make a coat out of dog fur.
Yeah,
because she's rich.
Like,
you know how evil rich
what's
people
her name? Cruella DeVille.
Cruella DeVille is so trash, man.
She said it ain't real fur unless it's right off the hammer.
Yo,
There you go. I mean, are we surprised? We live in 2020.
Yeah,
rich people clearly just want to kill stuff that doesn't deserve to die.
Fam, but like, I saw the original as a kid, but like, you don't take any of that stuff in, right? You know what I mean? And then I saw the live action, and the live action version is really tame. You know what I mean? Like, it's super tame. The dogs don't talk, anything like that. But like the original version, like like I knew I was gonna like it because when they introduced the characters, like the main dog was like, "So this is my pet," talking about the dude, and I was like, "Word, all right." But it's a really interesting story, man. And the cartoon is just like miles ahead. It just makes me realize just how much I love 2D animation. You know what I mean? Like, I can understand why that move was so innovative, like back in the day.
Yeah.
Just like rewatching it and everything. It's quite fantastic. And like, dude, she was truly scary, bro. Like, I mean, like, honestly, you see a character like that, and like they talk about the great movie villains, but like flat out, like, she was freaking scary. Like, the way she was animated, like she moved through the crowd, like she would just be running people over. Like, I was like, yo, this lady is like literally running these cats over, like in a Cadillac, bro. Like, it was, dude. She was a straight up devil, man. Like, yeah, and it had like this one chubby dog or whatever that kept like the only line that he had, it was like, "I'm hungry," like throughout the whole thing. It's funny.
I feel like that's every dog's line. That's pretty much what they say.
I'm hungry, dog. It's like, what? All right.
Well, thank you, DJ Locari, for plugging 101 Dalmatians for all the people that want to see how cruel rich people really can be.
Yo, watch it as an adult. It's very different.
Yeah.
Very different as an adult.
Also, vote for Bernie Sanders. I feel like that felt appropriate to me.
I mean,
don't vote for Trump. Get Trump out.
Your dogs.
We don't need any more Cruella DeVilles in the White House.
Are we a show that endorses Bernie Sanders? Are we?
No. We're not getting into that. We're not throwing our hat into that race. Don't vote for Trump.
No.
Listen, vote for anybody collectively that'll get this orange, I almost swore, out of office. Rashawn Nolan. Hey. How's it going over there?
All right. Glad to be here, man.
Yeah. I ran into Rashawn Nolan's randomly at Jimmy John's.
Yeah.
And did I get my sandwich?
No, I was getting the sandwich. You was walking by, and I just saw you and knocked on the glass.
Whatever.
You took a second to try to remember my face.
Oh yeah. Because Rashawn had maybe as much hair as me. Yeah. At one point. Yeah. And so for a second, I was like, and it's funny because I saw you, and I was like, oh, that's so and so. No, it's not. That's Rashawn.
Yeah, man.
It was well worth running into you. Was worth being late to wherever I was going.
Right on.
Do you have a blurt up?
Yeah. So I got a real long commute to work, and so I listen to audiobooks. Okay. And on my 13th book by this guy named Jim Butcher. This is a Chicago author. And
you've read 12 of his?
I've listened to like 13 of them. And they're called the Dresden Files. It's about this wizard in Chicago that's a private eye. And it's
Lori Lightfoot.
And it's like werewolves and vampires and fallen angels and demons and all this stuff. It's a great book. So I'm really into this one now. It's kind of like a heist. They're trying to rob Hades. Yeah,
that is a worthwhile lick, right?
Yeah. So they're trying to break into Hades' vault. It's a pretty dope book.
Very cool. Yeah. Where does Rahm Emanuel fit in?
Yeah, he's not present.
Vampire.
Yeah, it's vampire, definitely vampire.
Or he's very short. Maybe he's an elf.
No, he's definitely elf. One of the old clan vampires.
There you go. And what's this author's name again?
Jim Butcher.
And the current book is called what?
The 13th book is called, I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, go check out some Jim Butcher books.
Yeah.
Out there.
Yeah, man.
You folks. Thank you for your blurt out, Rashawn Nolan. Next, my light-skinned little brother, Blake Morris is here. I have known this person since, what were you, 23, 24?
Yeah, 23.
Yeah. I've known him for a really long time. We used to work at Underbar.
Yeah, the
back before
Underbar.
It was Blue Light 2.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Last time I saw somebody get punched in the face, it was outside of Underbar.
We destroyed that bar when it closed too. Remember we vandalized the bar. That was awesome.
We got in a lot of trouble.
We had the right. We were angry.
Yeah.
They did us wrong at that bar.
They
man.
definitely shut it down. Still better than Quenchers. What's your blurt out for tonight?
So my blurt out actually. Lately, I've been getting really involved with just talking with kids and I have a lot of nephews and stuff and just kind of seeing what they're into. So last night I was doing some Funko Pop shopping, getting some more collectibles. I was in Walmart and it was awesome because I found this awesome Wolverine figure and stuff and a couple of things. I'm like, I gotta add this to the collection. This little kid comes up and he's gotta be 7 maybe, but I guess he was just being introduced from his dad into cartoons, anime, everything. So he was just so interested, and as a little kid, that's amazing how we all were. So he was kind of asking me, he's like, "Oh, who is that?" He didn't know Wolverine yet. So I'm like, "Oh my gosh," so I go,
gosh darn it, Disney. Gosh darn it, Disney.
Gee Willikers, who is your father? So I started introducing them to the character and where it came from, giving them, ideas of other comics to read and groups and so forth, and X-Men, Avengers, the whole nine. And it was awesome. He got so interested, and then I even told him, I'm like, "What kind of cartoons do you watch?" So he mentioned a lot of newer ones, of course. So I told him, I was like, "You know what? You have Disney Plus." He was like, yeah, I watch my parents. I'm like, "Well, you should watch these shows." I was like, Darkwing Duck. I was like, told him I'm watching Gargoyles again. I haven't seen it in years. And I'm like, the animation looks different because all that old school 90s TV back in the day, but you'll love it. Yeah. And then he just, I showed him how it looked like, and it just blew his mind. Yeah. So it was awesome, man. So that just made my night, and he just was the happiest dude in the world. And he bought the Wolverine one as well.
Nice.
So good night.
Changed that kid's life forever.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's in a darker place.
I mean, definitely told him Gargoyles and Darkwing Duck. You couldn't have said bonkers.
I would have been there for 2 hours giving him a whole book full of cartoons.
I forgot about Bonkers. That's almost worth buying Disney Plus right now.
I hated Bonkers.
I love Bonkers.
We had 100 times better cartoons back then. And I would have been sitting there all night, dude, talking to him.
The original X-Men too is on Disney Plus, man.
And the Silver Surfer, I'm watching that too.
Oh,
all the Spider-Man cartoons.
Talk about depressing a kid.
Yeah. So many episodes.
Talking about the best winter break for a new generation.
There you go. You don't got to go outside. That's a snow.
Y'all don't go outside anyway, so you might as well sit here and watch this.
Well, thank you for your blurt out, Blake.
Yes, sir.
So we are in the first DJ L.O. Kari mix of the evening. DJ L.O. Kari is going to hit you with some hits. DJ L.O. Kari, what hits are you going to hit?
So I got a couple of friends that's been sending me tracks, and I was like, well, why not? Let's play some of these tracks that I've been giving some from homies. Big bro, the young man, you know what I mean? His name is Eddie Super. He just dropped the album yesterday, actually. So we'll be playing one of the tracks from his album. This is called Just Do It. And and also gonna be playing some tracks for some other amazing people as well. And also this track by this up and coming artist by the name of Ziana. I'm about to bust after this one too, because it's I've been trying to play her track for a minute, so I can't wait for y'all to hear it.
I don't want Ziana to get offended, but black people will put Iana on the end of anything.
I thought her real name was dope. Like her real name is Asuzana. You know what I mean?
Oh, so she called herself Ziana?
Yeah.
Okay. Like Dragon Ball
I'd rather have Ziana.
I was like, provide her a short name for herself.
Yeah,
that's cool. Get that.
Yeah. Well done.
She probably got tired of teachers mispronouncing her name.
Right, it's Asuzana.
It can take a toll on somebody.
Even though I had a white teacher mispronounce a friend of mine named Candace's name once. It was Candace Goggins. She called her Candice.
Candice.
Like, no, we're black, but this you really just showed your ass this time.
I was borderline rape.
It wasn't even borderline. Candice?
Yeah, my sister's name is Sheptufi. Her teacher used to call her Shabudu. Well, like until my mama showed up to school and was like,
cut it.
Say my child's name. She's like, Sheptufi. Yeah, that's right. Don't you ever in your life.
While I do value these stories, it's time to let us go pee. Blerd.radio, BLURDDOTRADIO. We will be back at 8 o'clock with Trailer.
Think you gotta go pee.
Blerd.radio.
Baby, I just wanna be with you. All day in my mind you're running through. Thinking about it gets me in the mood. Baby, let's just do a Nike swoosh. Baby, I just wanna be with you, yeah. All day in my mind you're running through, yeah. Thinking about it gets me in the mood. Baby, let's just do a Nike swoosh. Yeah, great times, so back at it, damn, it's like the 8th time. You be turning into my main slide. Shit be getting deeper than the baseline. Got shit to do, but I'll make time. You know I don't like to waste time. I got a sex drive and no brake line, and I'm racing down your waistline. Those dimples on your back where my thumbs go. Starring a movie shot on my phone. Using natural, no rehearsing, picture perfect. Baby, work your body contours like a cursive. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Baby, I just wanna be with you. All day in my mind you're running through. Thinking about it gets me in the mood. Baby, let's just do a Nike swoosh. Baby, I just wanna be with you, yeah. All day in my mind you're running through, yeah. Thinking about it gets me in the mood. Baby, let's just do a Nike swoosh. When I swing this bat, knock it out the park. Just wanna break your back, don't wanna break your heart. Working early mornings, set your alarm. Now let me set a vibe. Begin a repertoire, baby, use a dime like a sawbuck. You can ride me longer than a Honda. Then we sweating out like a sauna. Looking like you came back from the Bahamas. I see your tan lines, just tantalizing. You give it like how I fantasize. And looking like a snack, always appetizing. Let me get a taste, put the cake in my face. Keep going till you say can't take it, babe. Crazy how fast that I crave it again. There ain't no stop when we start to begin. Getting it in like tomorrow's the end. At times we high, off the cushions on wine. Yeah, won't finish till I get you right here at least twice. Baby, I just wanna be with you. All day in my mind you're running through. Thinking about it gets me in the mood. Baby, let's just do a Nike swoosh. Baby, I just wanna be with you, yeah. All day in my mind you're running through, yeah. Thinking about it gets me in the mood. Baby, let's just do a Nike swoosh.
Yellow flowers in the rain now. I've been looking for someone like you. You've been calling my cell now. It's been a minute since I met you. I need to see your face. I need to walk away. It's just out of control. Now, you took a chance on me. You put a spell on me. Tell me what's going on. I can't stop thinking about you. I can't stop thinking about you. No, no, I can't stop. take me high, take me for a ride. Run around, run around, run around with you. Run around, ooh, run around with you. Run around, ooh, ooh, run around with you. Run around, ooh, run around with you. Run around with you. I can't stop thinking about you. I can't stop thinking about you. Where'd you come from? Who you are? You must be heaven sent. You're a star, yeah. Where'd you come from? Who you are? You must be heaven sent. You're a star. Yeah, it's you. Never had no one like you. Yeah, it's true. I can't stop thinking about you. Yeah, it's true. It's that kiss under the rain that got me feeling like I never wanna go away. Yeah, take me for a ride. Yeah, you take me high, take me for a ride. Run around with you. Run around, ooh, run around with you. Run around, ooh, ooh, run around with you. Run around, ooh, run around with you. Run around, ooh, ooh, run around with you. Can't stop thinking about you. I can't stop thinking about you. I can't stop thinking about you. I can't stop thinking about you. Run around with you. Run around, ooh, ooh, run around with you. Run around, ooh, run around with you. Run around, ooh, ooh, run around with you. Run around, ooh, run around with you. Run around, ooh, ooh, run around with you. Run around, ooh, run around with you. Run around with you. I can't stop.
Yeah. Everything gritty, don't love when it's not. Friend of Shot City, I'm from off the block. Spend a whole milli just to make it pop. Cut you $150, might just make it hot. Going up silly, prefer when it bop. Serving them dillies, they came for the knots. The squadron with me, you don't want to fly. Keep up the safety, we got it off lock. Logan, I try. I've been all up Parlay way with the mob. Hitting the lick to the lip with the try. Fixing the switch up the sticks off the side. All in the night, but you best not come out. Otherwise, best believe catching them shots. Yeah, we don't race, we don't know how to stop. Capital punishment off of the eye. Back in the back of the act of the ride. Slip on the side and we gon' have to slide. Drip on the way, don't get caught in the tie. Rules I don't do, I don't know how to buy. Hitters can catch, you got the alibi. Choppers in motion, we letting them fly. Diamonds they dancing, don't give us a rise. Living outlandish, remember the guys. Everything gritty, don't love when it's not. From the Shot City, I'm from off the block. Spend a whole milli just to make it pop. Cut you $150, might just make it hot. Going up silly, prefer when it bop. Serving them dillies, they came for the knots. The squadron with me, you don't want to fly. Keep up the safety, we got it all right. Killer, taking advantage of this shit while we is alive. My killers ring the tangles and the killer be high. Capital mistake brigaders and with them outside. Disappear you GMZ, now you gon' televise. I had to get it myself. Pack it to work on bus rides. I had to move in the stealth. Know how they look for my kind. 12 on the ground for my hell. Couple of shots for white guys. I dropped from heaven to hell. Now I'm living a high life.
Margie done died, went into the earth and then my low rise. Came back like fucking said now is the time. Getting it popping like Bonnie and Clyde. Kicking the door, need a piece of the pie. Fuck your opinion, get out of your mind. Thinking about billions, I'm out of my mind. Shows that be busting, I'm live like a mine. My shit gon' slap, it won't go under mine. I'ma play it, they pay it, they go out. Every day we gon' show up and show out. Until the day where I'm planning the whole lot. And if rappers believe it's gon' go down by any means, because that's how we throw down. Push and move, I don't know how to slow down. Keep it hot, that's only when we know how. Ooh, yeah. I'm tired of playing these games. Hey, I try but can't understand. You say you want me for always. Call me the next day. Say feelings have changed, and I'm so confused. I really wanna be there for you, girl. But you tell me you don't need a man. So I think I found a solution. After call, I can stay. I'm gonna walk away. Can't say no more, 'cause I refuse to stay. I'm gonna walk away. Can't say no more, 'cause I refuse to stay. Hey, got me going out of my head. 'Cause you can't make it matter, girl. Be acting like you just don't care. But I need you here. I really wanna be there for you, girl. But you tell me you don't need a man. So I think I found a solution. After all, I can stand. With you, can't say no more, 'cause I refuse to stay. Say goodbye, even after all this time. You look me in the eye. Who was it all alone? Please tell me. Oh no. Walk away. Can't say no more, 'cause I refuse to stay. I'm gonna walk away. Walk away. Girl, I'm done with you. Can't say no more, 'cause I refuse to stay. Oh yeah.
So we all that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey. You're back. I don't know, I just heard the word N-word.
Yeah, good.
The two words N-word? The compound word? So the bass you hear coming through the wall isn't us. That's because I guess they heard the music that we were playing in here and decided they had to turn their music up. Shout out to whatever is happening out.
Sounds like good music
in the lobby. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be great on this show.
Yeah.
So DJ Elokari just played you some hits. DJ Elokari. All right, we'll start over.
Yeah.
You are listening to Blurred Out Radio.
There you go.
DJ Elokari just played you some hits. DJ Elokari, what hits did you hit them with?
So yeah, I was trying to post up John Renaissance's song. because that's what I just played on Instagram. If y'all was looking who that was, but but I can't find his Instagram. So John, figure out what's going on with your Instagram, buddy, because you can't find your stuff.
Maybe he posted too many booty pics.
Him or me? Wait, I'm confused.
If he can't, maybe his page got shut down. Or maybe he told the truth.
Oh, that could be.
Actually, that's Facebook.
You know, that could, I mean, that's a possibility. But the name of that track was called Walk Away, and it was by John Renaissance. What a dope track. Before that, we heard a new remix by my homeboy Malo. And the name of that remix was called Hot. And you can check that out on his Instagram. If you go to his Instagram, it'll take you directly to a link for that particular song. Before that, you heard Ziana. The name of that track was called Take Me For A Ride. And we started it off with Just Do It by my homeboy Eddie Super.
All right. Go find those people's music. Put it on repeat. Play it on Spotify over and over. Get them some money. So now it is time for our infamous trailer segment. It's not infamous. We have two great movies that we're going to talk about today. One of which DJ El Okari already ranted about on Facebook.
Sure did.
We're going to talk about Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution, which is not Mewtwo Strikes Back, but it is Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution. That's why they made another one.
Right.
And we're going to talk about All Screwed Up, which is a TV series chronicling the adventures of the late, great DJ Screw, the guy who is responsible for every slowed down song that you hear, including Justin Timberlake's Suit and Tie. So
that's my Screw right there, man. Yeah.
It has to be more Screw. No. And it has to go like, the bass has to like go.
Ooh, no. Okay, yeah, maybe.
It's close.
It's close.
Nah, it wasn't.
I tried.
You didn't try hard enough.
Hey, well.
So after the 1 second it'll take me to size this, it really did.
Oh yeah, you got the sound this time, man. We're leveling up.
Hey, all right.
Too bad the trailer we're about to go over is trash.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution. I like that there is both a colon and a dash in this.
Yeah, man,
all right, here we go, folks. Why aren't you playing? Oh, because I have to hit it twice.
Yeah. What is that?
We have given life to you using the rarest of Pokemon as a basis.
If weak humans are allowed to govern, the world is headed for ruin. Which of you will oppose me first?
I'm not liking this at all.
You want to try?
That's enough.
The Chicago, nigga!
The rarest of Pokemon.
I hope to God that we never get on actual radio. We will not last a day. So, Pokemon, the evolution, Pokemon the movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back.
Just call it what it is, bro.
Evolution.
This is like a craft beer name. You know,
it's not even technically Strikes Back. It basically replicas the original, man.
It is the exact
it's not
same.
It's just like watching animated Lion King in the live
action. That's what they call me. So we're gonna start off and move clockwise with our opinionations. But first, let me give some info. This has been released already. It was released June 12th, 2019 in Toho, Japan, as a part of Pokemon Day, because there's a Pokemon Day over there.
Lazy ass.
It was then, what?
This is not on the screen. I'm sorry.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not. We're on the screen right now.
I see that now. Hey.
It was again released in LA at Anime Expo 2019. But now, actually, you can already buy this on Blu-ray and DVD as it was released December 18th, 2019. But now we'll be on Netflix January 21st, 2020 which was a few days ago, and that's why we're talking about it. Yeah, I don't know. They're trying to get all the money they can.
We get the Pokemon movie Disney Plus is no more.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to see it. Steve?
I'm going to watch it. It's Pokemon.
How do you feel about... Are you excited to see it? Because I feel like this would be like if you made a CGI... I guess it's been all the ones I think of.
I'm actually just, you know, like, I'm kind of over Ash Ketchum a little bit. He just caught a Dragonite. We're talking about, he's trash, dude. He's trash. He's not actually. He's like an okay Pokemon trainer. You know what I mean? Like, he's an okay Pokemon trainer.
They made a whole song about it.
Brock is the only one. Brock already got his own gym. Brock has defeated the Elite Eight several different times.
Let's get into it. Brock is a Negro, so he is never going to get the shine that Ash.
But I'm just saying.
You know, that's why they took him out, because they said black people would be offended by his character.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Why? Because he's squinty?
Yes.
That's true.
Well, anyway, yeah.
I feel like they made him cry a little too much.
Like, why won't you just evolve it? Why won't you just let Pikachu evolve into a Raichu? You know what I mean?
Because Raichu ugly.
Yeah, Raichu is not as cute as Pikachu. But yeah, I'm gonna watch it. It's on Netflix, bro. Like, I'm just gonna put it on as I fall asleep after I get off work. You know, crack open a can of wine.
You know, well, when you said crack, I was about to be like, Steve, wait.
It might be better on that. No,
so Steve,
I'm gonna do a couple pulls on this car antenna.
It's gonna feel like it's virtual, man.
We've talked about the long drops there.
Yeah. So that's I'm gonna watch it. It's gonna get its views. Yeah.
Some new generation will be like, oh, look at this story, and then they'll go back and watch the other one and then tell you all in 10 years about why their version is better.
Or then the next stupid presidential candidate will quote this movie somehow.
And then all the Gen Zs will be like, oh my God. Oh, kids are stupid. DJ Elokari, you have strong feelings.
Try.
Yes. I mean, honestly, bro, like, this is just lazy to me. Honestly, I really am not excited about this. It's like, how can you come off a movie like Detective Pikachu and not try? Like, this is exactly the same movie. And honestly, bro, like, I'm not a huge fan of 3D animation. I mean, I just did a blurt out about like how much I love 2D animation. And so you're gonna take a film that was actually in theaters, that was 2D, that actually looked pretty good for a Pokemon movie, and then turn it into some 3D cheap garbage. Like, it looks like a bad 90s. What do you call the in-between clips between
Cartoons?
games?
Oh, the CGI cutscene.
Yeah, it looked like a CGI cutscene, man, of the same movie.
CGI. It's not blocky. It doesn't look like plate.
They mouths don't look like they can move correctly.
They mouths.
Yeah, they mouths.
So when are you going to be watching this?
Never. I think I said I wouldn't watch it if it was free, which it
even
is.
If Ray Rush.
So no.
Gave you her Netflix account password and was like, I need you to watch Pokemon for $20. Do it.
No.
Well,
I want me for $20. Yeah. Would I like it? No.
Yo, how much do you charge the DJ?
It depends. I did an $800 gig like yesterday.
Don't you dare floss on us on the show.
It was hard work, man.
Hey, you remember that $20 you owe me?
Man, let me get $6 so pay.
Yeah, you'll still have $700 something.
Buy my bus pass.
Nah, man, it was trash. Like, I'm not really excited about this. I just feel like these stories are lazy, and there's so much. Pokemon has so much of a potential, man. Like, it has such potential to do really great stories and whatnot, and they completely ruined it. I have more respect for Digimon than Pokemon at this point.
There's a grown-up Digimon coming out, but we're gonna move on. Thank you, DJ Elokari. Rashawn, we're about the same age, right?
Maybe, probably a little older.
Did you also miss the entire Pokemon?
Yes. I have to admit, That's just never really been my thing. But I mean, I'm aware, and you know, the first thing that kind of struck out to me was it's just like the animation TV show, and I probably watched maybe an episode of that, and I already knew. I was like, oh, this is basically the same thing. You know, it's basically, you know, just a, like you said, like an animated.
No, it just turned off because I pushed. Don't listen to me, man.
DJ Elokari is drunk. He's not yet.
No, not yet.
But you were saying,
you know, but I did watch Pokemon Detective, which Pikachu Detective, which I really like. My son really liked it. It'd be dope to see that as like some kind of series, you know.
You mean
I believe there will be a
the
sequel.
same movie that's already out?
I mean, bits and pieces of the original movies were actually portrayed in Pikachu Detective when it came to Mewtwo.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why I was so excited.
The whole aura of how he was created, his mission control.
Well, it was supposed to be it was a sequel. Like it took place in the same
universe. But that's good though, right? That was an actual sequel because they added a different storyline.
Well, this one isn't
with
even
that.
a sequel. Like Rashawn said, like
this is
I
a part.
I am not
same movie in 3D.
Yeah, I am not into Pokemon. I've never seen the original Mewtwo movie. In fact, the only interest I gained in Mewtwo was from Smash Brothers, GameCube. Which one was that? There's been some
Melee.
Yeah. That was the only time I was like, "Oh, look at this. Maybe I'm curious about what this thing is." And I read about it, and I was like, "Not so much." But yeah, like I said, like Rashawn said, even I knew, like, did they already do this? This seems awful familiar.
I showed it to my son today. I showed him the trailer, and he just like rolled over. There was no. I mean, he's 5, and he was not even like.
No.
He wasn't even like, "Yo, let's watch this." He was just like, "Okay." You know, so who's this really for? You know,
well, again, it's been released like what 3? This particular version of the movie has been released 3 times now. So somebody's like, "No, I'm making my money back." Blake, what are your thoughts here?
Well, when it comes to Pokemon, I am an OG. I love Pokemon, but I am just an OG of the Indigo League, the very first, the beginning.
Hey,
I'm not huge on what came afterwards. It just didn't spark me too much. And till this day, I still stream that. I still Digimon too. I still love watching Digimon to this day. It's just amazing, you know. But this movie is spitting image of what came out back in the day.
Try it.
And
just say it.
Nah, I was good.
Just say it.
Nah, so I mean, I'm gonna watch it while I'm, intoxicated. Yeah, and then that's about it. But other than that, I mean, it's just gonna be that one. I got Netflix, but there's other stuff to watch on Netflix,
which is true.
Yeah, so I got other shows I'm streaming, and I'm good with that.
There you go. So what do I still have it up? February 27th. That's not what Wikipedia said. I don't know. IMDb says February 27th.
It's on Netflix. You'll see it when you see it.
It don't matter, man. It already came out.
You can buy it on DVD, or you can watch it on Netflix and not have to have one of those cumbersome little discs around.
Yeah, just watch the much better 2D version.
Another fun point: out of 129 votes, out of 129 votes on IMDb, 6.4 out of 10. Ooh. Okay. Nobody is into this. The next trailer we're going to talk about, I think, is well deserved and long overdue.
That was on Toy Story 4. Trash. The 40. Trash.
It should have sounded like that.
Yeah, you got to use that one, bro. Trash.
Cleaned by YouTube Adblock. I don't know what that means. So, at one point in time, there was a DJ. That DJ did lots of liquid codeine.
Yes.
And he made a whole new style of music. I believe it was recently. I went back and listened to a bunch of old Houston rap because I was listening to the Maxo Cream album that came out this summer. And I was like, oh, wait, I get it. Now, you can probably play a Houston rap song for me that I don't know is from a Houston rapper. And I'll be like, oh, yeah. That guy's from Houston. Houston is definitely, Brooklyn gets credit, Harlem gets credit, Queens gets credit. LA gets credit. Long Beach gets credit. Houston deserves this credit, and it's going to get it through this series called All Screwed Up. We will play the trailer and pow.
You got it.
Man, the whole album whack. Nah, you tripping, dog. This joint dope. Don't scratch my records, boy. I'm a DJ. That's what DJs do.
Oh, so you a DJ now, huh?
You gonna play a song for me?
I got you.
I'm here on the south side where there have been multiple reports of carjackings.
Candy Blue, huh? You from the north side?
Slowing it down on purpose.
I'll give you 10 for whatever you're doing right now.
Nah, man, I'm just messing around with something. You heard them haters on the north trying to steal your style?
I'm in your slab, coming down your street. Finna go scoop your bro. Yeah, you know it's going down. Outside.
Sick of these north side marks. Screw ain't make it. It ain't no screw tape.
These old marks.
So that is All Screwed Up, which will chronicle DJ Screw and his come up. It will also involve his beef with Michael 5000 Watts. Did I get that right? Mike Watts? I'm excited about this, just like I was excited. Not as excited about the Wu-Tang TV series, because nothing is as exciting as Wu-Tang, especially 90s Wu-Tang. Now Wu-Tang, not so good. I am glad that these stories are being told from the perspective of hip-hop, because hip-hop history is the history of the 90s. It's what made culture today. It's what spread. Remember, hip-hop used to be like jungle music, and it was just swearing and talking about bitches and hoes. Now hip-hop is everywhere. So I'm glad that these stories are being told about where it came from. What I can't tell you is when this is coming out, because no one has it written down. I have no idea. I'll look it up while Steve gives his 2 cents.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch this. This is gonna be great, or it's not, because it's one of those stories that needs to be told. I don't think a lot of people I feel like the masses don't know about DJ Screw. I think people
They've
who
heard Screw music.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that?
For sure.
But a lot of people don't know that songs like this is a sample from a Screw tape. Somebody went through an entire Screw tape, through an entire 9-minute freestyle, and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna make a beat out of this."
That's like everybody in New York sampling Brooklyn Zoo.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I don't know. This is going to be great, or it's going to look really bad, because that one little clip did look really bad.
Yep.
When they had the news reporter on the television.
Oh, well, everything can't.
Are you talking about that obvious green screen?
You got to start from somewhere.
I'm just like,
it's not done yet, man. It ain't done.
That's why I didn't put when it's coming out.
Still working on it.
Still in development.
Also, I'm pretty sure I recognize Big Pokey and Big Mo in that one scene.
Yeah.
And the actors definitely look a lot like it.
Yeah, they focus a lot on the way that people look.
Much better than the Wu-Tang.
You don't think Raekwon looks like Raekwon?
He acts like Raekwon.
He acts like Raekwon for sure.
When he talks, and he emulates him well, because the kid's a good actor. But what?
He's like, I'm not gaining the weight, bro.
They couldn't have CGI'd his face.
Lightened him up a little bit.
He didn't, man.
Give him some more waves.
You know what pomade is?
But yeah, so Steve, you're looking forward to this one?
Oh yeah.
Good. DJ Elokari, you're a DJ. What are your thoughts on DJ Screw?
Like I said, I just was watching the Hip Hop Evolution, so I think this is right on time. Yeah, man, I'm excited for it. It looks dope. Sorry, hello. I'm excited for the concept. I'm excited that the story is getting told. They're most definitely not trying to make things look accurate. I mean, like, the dude's using like some brand new Sony headphones, man. Like, yeah, like I bought them headphones like last year, bro. It's like
maybe
most definitely
he was
were not
just ahead
using
of his time.
Right.
You don't know.
They was really trying to sell that whole people wanted screw tapes like it was crack. Like, cause he sure looked like he was trying to buy something.
And that, and in the 90s, $10 would get you a CD or a tape.
Yeah, man. Let me get that.
I'll give you $10 for what you're doing.
Lucky, maybe 2.
Yeah, depending on where you go. You go to Record Exchange back when it was called Record Exchange.
That's the real part, though, man. That part is like real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
So will you be watching this?
Yeah, why not?
There you go. Rashawn, how do you feel?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out. You know, just like what you were saying, you know, just I like that these stories are being told, and you know, it's important that history is out there. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I feel like hip hop's not ours anymore.
Often.
So it's nice to see that that those stories are being told, and it made me go back because like I hadn't listened to a tape in a while, so I went back and tried to pull some up on YouTube and just check them out. Yeah, so I mean, hopefully it revives this music, and you know, I think people in Houston are very excited. What's the platform that this is going to be on?
Who knows?
Actually, it might just be in the streets.
Well, they said, I know.
Be on DVD, somebody on the corner.
I know Vice was advertising it, so you probably see it on Vice. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense. And it would make sense for it to be on Vice, since Vice hasn't like gotten in on this whole like hip hop biopic.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I also agree. Like some of the production looks, you know, budget.
You got to get
you know, but you got to. Yeah, I mean, you get people invested and see. You just got to see where it goes. But
that's true. Because some shows, when it gets to the second, third season, it's a lot better because it piques the interest.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's why I was excited to move back to the Wu-Tang show that it got to season 2.
Yeah, which is official. That's what's up.
Yeah, I hope they clean up some of the. Make RZA have a list. I know RZA himself is a producer and doesn't want to have a list, but just, you know, he's got to sound like Wizza. Like he can't. He can't be as articulate as he sounds.
He spit on me.
Well, thank you, Rashawn Nolan. Blake Morris, how do you feel about this one?
I'm actually excited. So I love Chopped and Screw music, and what I loved about it most, and of course DJ Screw, I learned more about him as I got older. I know I heard music from older cousins, but it was cool because what I liked about his style was he came with something different, and other artists, and other artists transitioned that into their style and and it showed a respect level, which was cool, and then it made great music at the time. Because nowadays, to me, honestly, I'm limited on a lot of these new artists. I'm like stick to a few individuals. That's about it, you know, because everything sounds the same to me. Everybody's trying to say they idol this other artist that's in their time, but their sound is exactly the same. So when they're trying to place a sample or doing this, it's nothing different. It's not exciting. It's not catching my ear. This back then, I mean, you had Atlanta rappers having their particular style.
Definitely.
Putting that Chopped and Screw with that. You had Miami cats doing the same thing. I mean, it was just, exactly. So it was awesome. And I'm excited to watch it. So, and to piggyback off you too, I'm trying that it's going to introduce these newer kids because they don't know about this. Let's just be real. Have you talked to somebody in this generation that's ever brought any of this up?
If I did, you know, they wore glasses, they were white, they weighed like 120 pounds. And they probably worked in a head shop.
I love that DJ.
I was like, man, I need a new bong. And this kid was like, man, have you ever heard of DJ Screw? And I'm like, how old are you? All right, well, thank you, Blake.
You got it now.
Indubitably.
So we're going to move on to the
message
portion. Do we not have that as a drop?
What are you talking about?
The message?
No, I have that.
I think we did at one point.
I mean,
There we go. I figured it was in there.
Damn. You on it. You on it, man.
Copyright, man. I said that first.
So we're going to move on to the headline portion of the show. This first headline, Blake, you have to be our light-skinned representative here. What happened to Delonte West? Like, I watched a Breakfast Club, you know, in the rumor report, they talked about this. Delonte West gets into a fight in the middle of the street. He gets cuffed, and then the cops talk to him about what happened. I'm going to play the video. I'm reluctant to play the video because I really feel like this guy needs help.
Come on,
he's always had mental health issues.
Yeah. He also, if you're from Cleveland, rumor has it, he was LeBron's stepdad for a little while.
Yeah, he was LeBron's stepdad for a little while.
Yeah. I'm going to play the clip.
It looks like he pooped on himself.
Why did you point that out?
I'm just saying.
Snakes on my life. What? Man, alright. Why'd you hit him? Did he attack you first with the self-defense, or did you hit him? Man, I walked down the street. Gun. Where's his gun at? I don't give a... I don't care. Okay. Do you know where his gun is? I don't give a... I don't care.
So,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Save at least a bit of dignity for Delonte. Yeah. Who just looked. I mean, the man has a ring.
Yeah.
Was he playing in 2016?
He might have got a ring. No, he didn't get a ring. No, he doesn't have a ring.
Apparently, this is all DJ Lokari playing these sounds that belittle Delonte.
What are you talking about?
Terrible state. The story goes, according to him, a guy pointed a gun at him. Delonte tried to beat him up.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it's bad because this guy was decent. He was a decent player. He was good. And this is where he is now with his weird mullet haircut, not looking very showered. Now, mind you, that police officer got suspended for posting that video.
The police officer posted the video?
Yeah, why are you trying to get likes when you're a cop? Like, come on, man. I am concerned. I've been concerned for a while, We got what just happened to Kobe. Then, you got Delonte getting beat up in the street. Steve, what are your thoughts on this? You are a Clevelander.
Yeah, he's struggled with like serious mental health issues, not just like depression or anything. Like he's like really there. He needs to be not. I won't say like some help. He needs help. He needs somebody to look out for him, if nothing else. You know what I mean?
Who's not gonna be LeBron?
Yeah, it's not gonna be LeBron.
LeBron's not gonna be.
It's not gonna be LeBron. But like somebody like the NBA. Somebody pointed out the NBA puts like a strong emphasis on mental health now in their like advertisement and whatnot. And like
somebody needs to help.
Go get my guy out here off the street. Like, but I understand it's hard to help a grown man too. But, dude, like, yeah, he needs
bad.
That's bad.
That's to go from NBA playoffs to scrapping in traffic.
I mean, I've seen people that like I went to high school with out here like that kind of. So it's just
I'm not going to say the name, but I know specific.
Yeah, it's just like It's just that they need help and they need somebody to look out for them. And if they can't find it, like we got too many police officers, so can't we just change them to like health aides or something? I don't know.
DJ Lokari, I'm about to mute you.
Anything. This is like half the people they arrest and put in jail. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't make any sense.
I do have a friend who told me that she saw him in a club once, and maybe she asked for a picture or something like that, and she was like, he was in space. Like, I had no idea who he was talking to. I'm pretty sure he was talking to the air at one point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man,
Man, she was trying to treat you, bro.
What's up?
She was trying to treat you. Talking about he was talking to the air. Man, he wasn't talking to no air, dog. Man.
I mean, you see the video. That video is out there. DJ Lokari, am I gonna have to mute you?
What are you talking about?
How respectful are you gonna be
Man, I'm being respectful, bro.
What are you, Mike 3? Go on ahead. Go on ahead and be respectful.
No, man, this is sad.
Yeah, it is.
See, it's super sad.
You're going to hear this.
Rashawn, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean,
back on. Don't hit buttons.
No, I mean, I feel like you in timeout.
I ain't did nothing.
I mean, I feel like it was a good move to suspend that cop because I mean, it's obvious what the point of that recording was to shame him and like you said, get likes, man, and